I'm a PlayStation fan too. 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 Cut the cap. Respect my time. I got a wife and kids. Respect my time. I got a wife and kids.
Yo, what's good, people, man? It's your boy Persona, gaming with Persona, one half of the What's Up PlayStation podcast crew, and welcome to episode 243 of the One Persona Speak Show. Appreciate y'all coming through, rocking out, man. Enjoying. I hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. I started building the soundboard back up, guys. We've been slowly building the soundboard. You understand? Trying to get things back to how they used to be. I know, a long time, right? It's about time, Persona. I missed the sounds. We got a couple of them back, man.
I'm a PlayStation fan too. They're an anomaly. Cut the cap. Respect my time. I got a wife and kids.
I told you so.
L. L.
We might be using that one quite a bit today.
L. 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 L.
We might be using that one quite a bit today.
It looks like DLC.
We might be using that one as well.
It's not that big a deal.
We definitely using that one today, and that's for all you PlayStation. let me not. I'm getting ahead of the show. But yeah, I'm slowly rebuilding the soundboard, trying to get things back to what they used to be. But because for those who don't know, I used to have the Go XLR, and now I have the Rodecaster Pro 2 Mini. So much better audio, much better. I have more control over different things or whatever the case may be. But the way this one is set up, I can also put sounds on here as well. But it's a little bit more difficult because with the Go XLR, I was able to kind of make the sound bites because everything is my voice. That's me, just distorting it or whatever. And it was just easier to do on my Go XLR as opposed to on this, which is much more difficult. So that's why I haven't. And then I thought I had lost my sound bites from the Go XLR, and kind of find out we didn't. It was in a hidden file that I found. I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, you know what? Let's start rebuilding the soundboard and whatnot, and get back to how we used to do things. You feel me? But yo, listen, man. Big shout out to everybody that's here today. Listen, if you're at work, I hope I could get you through your work day. If you're on your way home from work or school, hope I could get you through your commute home. If you're at home cooking dinner, doing homework with the kids, cleaning the crib, I hope I could get you through your session. Listen, you might be taking a shower. I don't know. Cleanliness is closer to godliness. Listen, you might be having the matters with a significant other. I don't know. I just appreciate you putting me on. First and foremost, shout out to my barber. Listen, on What's Up PlayStation podcast this Saturday, your boy was looking rough. But my barber is that Wagwan brethren. I got you. He came through, man. He rocked out for your boy, and he brought me back to life. Man, because I was supposed to see him last week and get my hair cut, but he was sick. So I was like, yo, bro. And I'm loyal. I'm a loyal guy. He knows how to cut my hair. He knows my lineup and everything. I'm a very loyal guy. So I was like, all right, man, I'll just wait another week and see you next week. He's like, yeah, my fault, bro, whatever. But I'm like, yo, my hairline was suffering, boy. My shit was woofing, boy. I was telling Barrio the pod before we did the pod on Saturday. I was like, yo, Barrio, man, my shit look kind of, my hairline, my shit look kind of crazy. I look like one of them basement dwelling weirdos that be stalking our page and shit, man. I got. So I was like, yo, man, we gotta fix this, man. This is not kosher. You feel me? But yo, man, listen, big shout out to everybody here. Listen, put a 1 in the chat if you're feeling great. Put a 2 in the chat if you're just feeling okay, or put a 3 in the chat if you're not feeling that great at all. But if you add a 3, we're gonna try to get you to at least a 2 by the end of the show. At least a 2. We're gonna try, right? Yo, Broken Lobo, what's good in the building? Leech in the building. Jamar Bates, Kratos 99, Foxing around. I'm chilling with Austin. Shout out to my boy Austin, man. Uppercase J in the building. J-Ro 49 Tool, man. What's this dude name? Pepido? I don't know about that name, brother. We gonna call you Pep. Yo, Pep, what's up? Yo, Brian East in the building. Viper Reaps Corner. Cobb Sanity, FV77, Diablo, Ice Queen Gaming, Bilbo, MJ in the building. Big shout out to MJ, man, because MJ did a really great thing this past weekend, man. If you don't know, MJ 152, he sponsored 2 giveaways for Final Fantasy VII on the WUPS podcast. So give you guys, make sure you guys give your appreciation to MJ, man. He's a great dude out here in this community, man. He does a lot of great things behind the scenes. He's a very low-key, behind-the-scenes type of guy, but he does a lot of great things in the community. So shout out to you, MJ, man. We really do appreciate it. The WUPS boys appreciate it, and I'm sure the community appreciates it as well. And congrats to all the winners of this past giveaway this past weekend on What's Up PlayStation Podcast, episode 154. Who else is it? Yo, PS Rewind in the building. Nels, what's good? In the building. Julian Johnson in the building. Julian, how you feeling, man? David RC, what's going on with you, man? Appreciate you. Gaming since 88. What's going on with you? I think that's Gaming Night. Gaming Night, what up? Juan Sosa Gaming, what's going on with you? Brian East in the building. Who else is here, man? Tool, man. I said what's up to you. Yo, Barry in the building. Shout out to the other half of What's Up PlayStation Podcast. My bro, Barry. Make sure you guys check out Barry's PlayStation newsroom video he just released today, talking about the layoffs and everything that happened at PlayStation. Really cool video, man. Really, really good video. So make sure you guys check that out. Jack Move Johnny in the building. Shout out to my boy Jack, man, in the building, man. Appreciate you, Jack. No Cap Podcast in the building. Shout out to my boy No Cap. Yo, listen. Shout out to my boy No Cap Podcast, aka Sick Human TV. First off, make sure you guys go. You feel me? Rock out with my boy. We've been playing a lot of Helldivers together, man. Shout out to my boy Sick, man. That boy is nice in them Helldivers, man. We get down when it comes to the Helldivers. You understand? We on the hardest difficulty, rocking out, doing the missions, going zoom, zoom, zoom. Oh, also your boy got some. Your boy's got some platinums over there. We'll talk about that in a second. Let me not get ahead of myself. But shout out to No Cap. Who else is a big hardcore gamer? Sean Artist in the building. Killer Cam for show in the building. Appreciate you. Who else is here? I think I saw Robert Morrison in the building. Shout out to my boy Rob. Rob, appreciate you, bro. Always. Listen, man, I feel special. PlayStation develop, at least some of the PlayStation developers rock out with your boy. Shout out to my boy Rob, man. Appreciate you, Rob. Games for Eternity in the building. Games, how you feeling, bro? I appreciate you. Bird in the building. Shout out to my boy Bird. Rocking out with your boy. Appreciate you, Bird. You already know. Who else is here? Amun Rod 3K in the building. Blue Jay in the building. That guy Schmitty in the building. Mr. Polar Bar in the building. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Yo, J Lou 83 in the building. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all rocking out with your boy, man. I appreciate everybody that rock out with me. Yo, Shadow the Ghost in the building. Nerdy Gaming in the building. Appreciate you. Stone. Milk of Mag, aka Milk of Magnesia, aka Catwoman. Y'all don't call her Milk of Magnesia. Only I can call her that. She gonna get mad at you if you call her that. Real talk. I'm letting y'all know now. Y'all don't call her Milk of Magnesia. I call her Milk of Magnesia. You call her that, she gonna get pissed off at you. And I'm not liable for how she spaz out on y'all because you out there, calling her things that you shouldn't really be calling. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules. I'm just letting you know. Only I call her Milk of Magnesia. Yo, Milk of Magnesia, what's good? She says, hi, Scarecrow. Can't stay long cleaning up a work disaster and wanting to stop by and show support because I'm finally getting a lunch break. I appreciate you, Stone, man. Real talk, rocking out with me. Always appreciate you. So, at least you stopped by, which I appreciate, Stone. So shout out to you. Who else is here? Yo, True Bleed in the building. Mary Wilcox in the building. Shout out to everybody, man. Oh, I don't have to. Do I have round of applause? I think I have round of applause. Yeah, round of applause is here. Yeah, round of applause to the folks in the chat, man. Big round of applause to the folks in the chat. Appreciate y'all, man. Yo, Gianna Don in the building. What's going on with you, man? Appreciate you, man. Kratos99, DeFloyd. I appreciate it. For another, J Gamer UK. Another round of applause for the folks in the chat, man. I'm feeling good, man. We gotta listen. Shout out to everybody, man. Applause is working. It's not too loud. Yo, Viper, I made sure. Listen, I got my audio levels right. I made sure the audio ain't too loud. You understand? It ain't blasting in y'all ear. We got things kind of proper this time, Viper, man. We getting ourselves together, Viper. But yo, your boy got 2 platinums this past weekend. Listen, if you don't know, I actually do play video games. Contrary to popular belief,
Well, that guy Persona, I don't really like that guy too much. I know that guy, Persona. He's not really a gamer. He's just a PlayStation fanboy. He doesn't really play games. Don't listen to anything Esther say.
You know, those people that like to spread those type of misinformation. And contrary to popular belief, your boy actually plays games, right? Your boy got 2 platinums this weekend, guys. Listen, I know I'm on top of the world. I got 223 platinums. That ain't nothing. I know there's people with like 500 platinums. That ain't shit what I got. But I'm proud. You know, your boy got the Helldivers 2 platinum. Your boy got the Grand Blue Fantasy Relink platinum. You understand? Your boy out here playing games. I'm playing games. I'm playing Banishers right now. Just started that up. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool game, by the way. I'm a big fan of Don't Nod, right? I like Don't Nod's game. I love the Life is Strange series. Well, at least Life is Strange 1 and Before the Storm, which wasn't made by Don't Nod, by the way, but I do like that because it was a really good storytelling of Chloe and everything like that, whatever, or Max, I should say. But Life is Strange 1, I love that game. Vampire. If you guys haven't played this game called Vampire, it came out on PlayStation 4. It's a really, really, really good game. And it's funny enough that Banishers actually gives me big vampire vibes, not just with the combat, but also with like the investigations that you have to do within the world and kind of like interrogations and research and all these other different things. I'm getting big vampire vibes. Just, you know, better combat, you know, obviously it looks more better, 60 frames, all that stuff. So I'm really, really love Vampire, and I'm loving this. I'm actually really enjoying the story of Banishers right now. It's really, really cool. Really, really good. So I'm actually happy. So that'll be a game I'm going to try to get through as much of it as I can until Final Fantasy VII drops. Obviously, Final Fantasy drops on Thursday, so, you know, we really don't have that much time left, especially since we're going into Wednesday. So I'm going to try to play as much of it as I can, but obviously it's going to have to get on the back burner once 7 drops. But once I get the Platinum in 7 and a couple other things, then we'll kind of dabble back into that, man. So yeah, there's that. But your boy plays games. Your boy plays games. You already know, right? Damien in the building. Shout out to my boy Damien. Playing some Grand Blue this weekend with my boy Damien, man. Good dude. Good people's out here, man. Yo, real talk, there's a lot of awesome people in this community. You just have to know where to look. You get what I'm saying? Like, you know, as much as people, you ever get like those people that get doom and go, oh, you know, this community is evil and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I just think it's all about where you look, man. Like, there's a lot of, like, you know, Bird, Damien, Games for Eternity. Who else, man? Stone, Jack, Sick. There's a lot of y'all in the chat. Gian and Dawn, Stealth Guy Gaming. That's my bro. Stealth Guy, Court. That's my brother. I know Stealth for years. When I say years, I'm talking going back to like 2013, 2014. That's my bro. Don't nobody mess with my boy Stealth Guy Gaming. We're gonna have a problem. Trust me. But there's a lot of great people in this community, man. Julian, shout out to Julian. It's a lot of great people. You just have to know where to look. And if you're in a situation where like you're around people who aren't what you're about when it comes to gaming, you got to just recuse yourself from those situations. That's what I do. If it's on some bullshit, I'm getting up out of there. Like, I'm good. Listen, man, it's all about gaming. Oh, you got 96 hours in Helldivers? Yeah, I got 80. I had 80 hours in Helldivers. That game is so addicting, man. Like, Helldivers is such a addicting, fun game, man. Like, I really love Helldivers. It's such a good game. If you're not playing Helldivers, you're missing out. And I mean that. And I'm not just saying that because it's a PlayStation IP, contrary to popular belief. Because, you know, you got some people saying,
Oh my god, well, I think Helldivers should be on the Xbox platform because, it just works out better for PlayStation. Who does it benefit,
ever since Phil Spencer said that stuff, you got people going around in spaces and on Twitter.
Well, I think it might just be better if, Helldivers belongs on Xbox as well.
No, Helldivers is a first-party IP. It's owned by PlayStation. It ain't going. It ain't happening. Which is funny enough, something that we're gonna talk about today too when it comes to exclusives, right? Because it's funny that this news came out today because originally I put out a tweet earlier this week or yesterday. I think it was yesterday. I put out a tweet where I was talking about how a Speak from the Heart has been. I mean, not Speak from the Heart. That's Bari's show, not my show. I am gonna speak from the heart today, but a When Persona Speaks is brewing within my soul. It's been brewing since Friday, and I was gonna do a show Friday, but I'd rather play the game, honestly. It's the weekend. I had a really stressful week, and I'd just rather just game it up, right? So I didn't do the show Friday, but I said, you know what, this week I am gonna do a show before Final Fantasy comes out because there's just a lot of things that I want to talk about and just get off my chest. You get what I'm saying, guys? So I was like, you know what? Let me do a show. But then this news with the whole layoffs with PlayStation came out, and it kind of derailed a lot of what I was going to talk about during the show. I'm still going to talk about that side of it as well, and we'll probably try to make both of these situations come together, because I do see people kind of putting out these weird gaming takes, these really stupid gaming takes that really don't make sense to me. And so, we'll probably try to make both of those things come together. But the two things I do want to talk about today is PlayStation and the layoffs, which we're going to talk about. But I also want to talk about exclusive games and exclusivity, right? Because ever since the Xbox stuff happened, and these games like Hi-Fi Rush and stuff like that have come to the PlayStation platforms, the conversation and the topics of exclusivity have now come back up, where you have a lot of people denouncing exclusivity, or people who did denounce exclusivity are now crying or speaking how important exclusives are. Then you have another side of it where people feel that, PlayStation, they keep saying PlayStation is going to do the same thing and blah, 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 and PlayStation needs to put their games on PlayStation. It's just these weird conversations and gaming takes that I'm seeing where I'm just like, wow, and it's been building, guys. It's been building. I've been ignoring a lot of it. I see it. Trust me when I tell you, I see it, I hear it. I just don't really respond to it, because I'm just like, I really don't want to put any energy or time into it, at least at the time. But it's mounted up so high for me personally, where I'm like, you know what? I do want to say something now. You get what I'm saying? Because I tell you guys all the time, most of the stuff I see on Twitter, I ignore it. Most of the stuff the bad game it takes, the idiotic thing, it has to be something really, really stupid that's being said for me to really respond at this point. Like, most of the stuff I ignore. I post my gaming stuff, I retweet my gaming stuff. That's really where I'm at. Like, when it comes to this gaming community or gaming or just interacting on social media, that's mostly where I'm at this point, where I'm like, I really don't feel like responding to this stuff anymore, right? Or I just don't have the energy, the mental capacity, the mental energy, the I just don't have it anymore, man. Like, that's where I'm at. So it has to be something extremely stupid or extremely profound, or something that's just off the walls, crazy news that's happening, to have me say, all right, I'll say something. Honestly, that's where I'm at. But yeah, man, we're gonna talk about a few things. Yo, shout out to Bats in the building. Shout out to my boy Baticus Prime, T Meng Fu in the building. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I appreciate y'all. Zero Steel, Wizard. Shout out to everybody, man. I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for real. Kenta Willis. Kenta, how are you? I appreciate you. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before. I appreciate you coming through. If you have been in the chat, I just, probably just never seen it, but, or you probably somebody that do watch and just don't type in the chat, and this time you type in the chat, which, if that's the case, I appreciate you as well. Either way, appreciate you. What's up? But all right, let's get to the elephant in the room. We got to talk about the elephant in the room, because it's undeniable, and really and truly, it really is. We keep saying, I keep saying this, but it's true, man. It really is sad to see. It's sad that this stuff keeps continuing, and honestly, it highlights a bigger issue, not just within the gaming industry. I think within the economy as a whole, with all the layoffs that's happening, because there's a lot of layoffs happening within the tech industry as well. Software engineers and sysadmins and help desk and all these other places are definitely affected as well. But and that stuff obviously is very sad to see, and my heart definitely goes out to those people. But I say this all the time, like, gaming is a hobby that I really care about, a hobby that I've been a part of since, I've been like 4 years old. You feel me? Like, since I was a wee little lad. You understand? I've been in gaming in a really long time, and as I've grown into the man that I am now, my appreciation for gaming, my love for gaming has also grown with it, right? And with that, my appreciation and love, especially even though I'm not a game developer per se, but being in the tech industry and working in the sector that I work in and the things that I do, it makes me that much more appreciative of the developers and what they do, because I know the effort and time and that goes into having to, one, perfect your craft, but two, also build something or maintain something as big as a game, right? Even though I'm not, like I said, I'm not building games or anything like that, but with what I do in my job and within my career, it's a massive, massive undertaking as well. So, um, my appreciation for them, honestly stems from I know how hard it is, man, right? And my appreciation for developers is always been like, because I love the games, and I appreciate the people behind the games, right? Those people are just as important as the games being made, because that energy, passion, time, and stuff like that comes from them. So like, I definitely show a lot of love and appreciation to the developers. And that stuff sucks, man. It really does suck to see when people are losing their job, right? I'm not saying that you need to be opening your doors and letting people sleep on your couch and all that. Like, I'm not on that type of energy. But I do think having compassion, empathy, and understanding of the situation that a lot of people are faced in, when it comes to these layoffs, that stuff really does suck. People's lives being uprooted, and things like that. And for me, that stuff sucks. I hate to see somebody lose their job. I hate to see people like that stuff. I just hate, regardless of where it is. Like, you can be a McDonald's worker. You feel me? Like, if you lose your job, it sucks to see, right? And I think acknowledging that is acknowledge that. I don't think we need to be as cold. It's like, oh, as long as the games get made, I really don't give a fuck. Like, I'm not on that energy, man. I'm not really. So yeah, my heart goes out to the developers, to everything that's going on, man. It really does suck, but we do need to talk about, what's going on, man. Because I ain't gonna lie, this came from left field for me personally. I wasn't really going into. Yo, shout out to DC. DC, what's going on with you, bro? I really wasn't going into today or even this week expecting this. At least not at this capacity, right? I think knowing and seeing all the layoffs that's been constantly happening, it's no surprise that this is still being announced. It's still rather sad, right? But with all of it happening all of last year and then bleeding into this year, I think we all definitely were going into this year or these weeks and thinking, oh yeah, who's gonna get laid off this week? But the fact, it's PlayStation is crazy. Like, it's crazy, especially when you see PlayStation making, record profits and selling record consoles, and their games are selling like crazy across, the PlayStation platforms and things like that. It seems strange, and it even seems even more strange where a lot of these layoffs are. But I do want to talk about it in detail. We about to get into this, right? I'm looking for the article. See, I should have had this ready. I know y'all like Persona. Why don't you have it ready where you could just flip to the next screen and it's already there? You're right. I'm sorry. All right. I should have had it ready. Where is it? Okay, here we go. I know there's one from Jim Ryan, but then I know there's one from Herman Holst as well, where Herm was talking about Herman Holst was talking about, here we go, right here. Here we go. Shout out to Genki, man. Genki a good guy, man. Shout out to my boy Genki. All right, so let's get into it, man. I do want to read both sides of what Jim Ryan has said and what Herman Holst has said, and then obviously that shit is loud as hell in my ear. And then obviously, we'll critique and have a conversation around it, right? Because then, it's the Jason Schreier stuff and what he's saying. But let's get into it, man. Let's get in. Kick back, guys. Get your dinner. Get your drinks. We here for a ride. I'm gonna take you for a ride. Gonna take you for a ride. All right, here we go. All right, so we got to talk to my boy Jim Ryan, and see what he talking about, man. Because the layoffs is hit, and PlayStation was hit with 900 people will be laid off at PlayStation across multiple SIE sectors, including their obviously studios and things like that. And a couple of the studios, which this is what's surprising to me: Naughty Dog, Insomniac, and Guerrilla Games. 3 of their most successful studios. Excuse the hell out of me. We're gonna get into it though, but let's read what Jim Ryan talking about, and then we gonna get into it, right? Oh, yo, shout out to Damien, man. Appreciate you. 34 months as a member on the channel. My boy Damien been rocking with me for a minute. Appreciate you, Damien. He says, Persona, where is Gaming Politician at? I need him to make an appearance for the topic at hand today. We'll see where Gaming Politician at, man. You know, he grew up. He got, you know, he out there working and whatnot. Now he got a real job. And then shout out to my boy Jay Bari in the building, man, with the big boy $20 super chat. Jay Bari, you know I appreciate you, brother. He says, but record-breaking profits. Listen, I'm going to go back to Wuff's episodes to expose that chat. Hey, yo, look, Bari, I think I'm gonna open up the chat tonight. Definitely pull up. We're gonna have a conversation. Pull up, because there's no Wups this weekend, so we can give him a little mini Wups on this episode and when Persona Speaks. But all right, guys, let's get into it. So Jim Ryan says, the PlayStation community means everything to us. So I felt it was important to update you on a difficult day at our company. We have made the extremely hard decision to announce our plan to commence a reduction of our overall headcount globally by about 8% or about 900 people, subject to the local law and consultation processes. Employees across the globe, including our studios, are impacted. These are incredibly talented people who have been part of our success, and we are very grateful for their contributions. However, the industry has changed immensely, and we need to future ready ourselves to set the business up for what lies ahead. We need to deliver on expectations from developers and gamers and continue to propel future technology in gaming. So we took a step back to ensure we are set up to continue bringing the best gaming experiences to the community. I want to stop right there. What's crazy to me, like this part here, right? However, the industry has changed immensely and we need to future ready ourselves to set the business up for what lies ahead. What changes? You know? Because I do agree that the gaming industry has changed immensely, right? And obviously, I'm not in the back room. I'm not in those board meetings, right? So I can only I'm speaking from my perspective on the outside looking in, right? As a consumer, as a gamer, as a longtime gamer, as somebody that's been with PlayStation since the beginning, you know, I do agree that the game industry is changing. I don't think anybody can deny that. I think we all know and see and understand that, right? For me, looking directly at PlayStation, a lot of the games that they have released within the past 3 to 4 years have been successful. They've said so themselves, right? Ghost of Tsushima, a success. Spider-Man, Miles Morales, a success. Spider-Man Remaster, success. Obviously, The Last of Us Part 2, a success. Ratchet and Clank, it met expectations. They were happy with those sales, a success. Returnal, they were very happy with those sales. Contrary to what people say on Twitter, PlayStation themselves said that they were happy with the sales of Returnal, a success. I'm drawing a blank. My brain just flatlined. Oh, Gorilla, a success. Horizon Forbidden West, a success. GT7, a success. Obviously, MLB is always a success. God of War Ragnarok, a success. Spider-Man 2, a success. A lot of the games from PlayStation specifically have been successful sales-wise and have turned a profit, according to what PlayStation's telling me. Despite the industry changing so vastly, and it has changed, where I see PlayStation in the most recent success, Helldivers 2, that's a runaway success, right? When it comes to PlayStation and how they've been doing things, although I do agree that they do need to kind of keep up with the times and keep things as current as they can be, I don't see many. I'm bringing the chat over here so that I can see, so we because my monitor, y'all over here on my second monitor, and my camera's on this side, and I want to be able to see what y'all talking about. So I'll bring it over here. As much as PlayStation is a success, or as much as their games have been successful, clearly they're seeing something within the industry that we might not be privy to, or we might know as well, but don't want to accept or admit it. Because obviously, PlayStation has made some pretty drastic changes when it comes to live service, right? We know that they're betting big on live service. You know, they bought Bungie and brought them in to help them build better live service games. They originally were going to make 12, but now that's been scaled down to 6, which now might be scaled down even further when we get deeper into this article. So obviously, PlayStation is also changing with that industry. You know, they started putting more games on PC. They also announced that, you know, this was like 2 years ago where they were talking about how, you know, they were going to put their live service games as a service games day and date on PC. It's funny too. I hate to go on a tangent, but just real quick, it's funny because I see a lot of people saying this now as if it's they've had some type of revelation or some type of this is why PlayStation needs to, this is why day and date, like, no, day and date on games as a service games was always happening. That was always the case. That was always in the cards. That was never anything that they said that they weren't going to do. They confirmed that over 2 years ago when not Sean Layden. We're gonna talk to Sean Layden next week, by the way. When Jim Ryan and Herman Hulse were having their interviews and they were talking about, you know, their release schedule when it came, or the release cadence when it came to single player and the games as service on multiplayer games. They said single player would be, you know, between like a year or so, and live service, game and service would be day and date. So this is no surprise. I think, you know, people maybe forgot or don't really follow the news like that, but this was never really something that was not going to happen, especially with Helldivers, right? But anyway, you know, I just feel like, you know, they've definitely been changing up when it comes to a lot of the things that they've been doing, but they've also made some blunders, man. They had some mishaps. They had some fumbles where I'm sitting here and I'm like, yo, you've been fumbling on news. You've been fumbling when it comes to giving us you know, what's going on with first party. But then when the news comes out about first party, it's this. Yeah, you're releasing great games, high quality games. You know, people are buying these games clearly. People are buying this shit. It would be different if nobody was buying these games because they wouldn't still continue down the path that they were going down now. So it seems, you know, I would like to know like what other changes they might be seeing that we don't see yet. Curious. Anyway, let's continue. So, let me get the chat. So he says, below, I've shared a copy of the email I sent out to the company this morning to provide more context on our thinking. We deeply appreciate support and understanding from the PlayStation community as these decisions are very difficult. Please rest assured that our plans for reorganizing and streamlining are so we can continue to deliver the best experiences possible. I'm going to touch on that in a second, but let's read the email. Subject: important update regarding organizational restructuring. Team: it is important to provide you with updates about the business as often as possible. Today I am writing with sad news. Through discussions over the past few months about the evolving economic landscape, changes in the way we develop, distribute, and launch products, and ensuring our organization is future ready in these rapidly changing industry, we have concluded that tough decisions have become inevitable. The leadership team and I made the incredibly difficult decision to restructure operations, which regrettably includes a reduction in our workforce, impacting very talented individuals who have contributed to our success. After careful consideration and many leadership discussions over several months, it has become clear changes need to be made to continue to grow the business and develop the company. We had to step back, look at our businesses holistically, and move forward, focusing on the long-term sustainability of the company and delivering the best experiences possible for our community. The goal is to streamline our resources to ensure our continued success and ability to deliver experiences gamers and creators have come to expect from us. I want to be as transparent as possible with you, our partners, and our community about what this means. We're gonna touch on that in a second. I want to talk about this part right here, right? Oops. So I feel like when it comes to PlayStation, this is the vibe I get. And you know what? Let me hold up. Let me do something, because that's gonna annoy me. There we go. Put y'all to the side so that we can. It's all right there, so I ain't got to be dealing with that. So what the vibe, at least the honestly, yo, Wanko, what's good? Johnny, what's good? One of the vibes that I get from this is I think they might be talking about, obviously sustainability when it comes to creating these games. We know these games are very expensive to make, but we also know that they're selling from what we're seeing. They're breaking records. Spider-Man just sold 10 million. It's probably at 12 million now. You feel me? I don't get it, man. I do think with PlayStation they're kind of trying to quote unquote trim some of the fat, so to speak. But I feel like the way they're going about doing this just really seems off to me because we still don't really know what's going on with first party. All we see as of late, and I would say like the last year or 2 years. And listen, I'm gonna get at y'all in the chat, man. Some of y'all, not all y'all. Because in the WUPS chat and my personal chat, whenever we start talking about, yo, Arcade, what's good? Whenever we start to, me and Barry, on What's Up PlayStation podcast, whenever me and Barry talking about, PlayStation is too quiet. They need to show us first party. They need to show us what's going on behind the scenes. What y'all say? Huh? What y'all say?
It's not that big a deal.
Huh? What y'all say?
It's not that big a deal.
It's not that big a deal. It's fun. We're getting games now, Jay Barry. We're getting games now, Persona.
Hey, yo, Barry, pull up to the chat, man. We're going to make this a mini WUPS. Fuck it. We're going to make this a mini WUPS. Yo, Barry, pull up to the chat, man. Pull up to the chat. I'm in the chat. Barry, pull up. We got to make this a mini WUPS. We got to make it a mini WUPS, man. We got to make it a mini WUPS. Pull up, Barry. I know you itching to talk. We got to talk. Make this a mini WUPS. Cause no. It's not that big a deal. As much as myself or even Barry or whoever was talking about, PlayStation's too quiet. PlayStation needs to show. Shout out to Jack Moves. PlayStation's too quiet. PlayStation needs to speak up. Why are they not giving us why are they being so quiet and not really showing us what's up? It's not that big a deal.
It's not that big a deal.
Remember, this is what y'all said. It's not that big a deal. And I'm saying, no, it is a problem because PlayStation has always been forthcoming when it comes to that information. We've seen a drastic change in PlayStation this generation where they have become so tight-lipped and so reserved and pulled back so much. It's crazy. And I'm noticing it as somebody that's been following PlayStation and following gaming and news for so long, it's strange. And then when you get the leaks or the news or whatever, it's this. It's this. And then you still left in the dark because it's like, okay, that's the bad news. It sucks that this is happening. Why is this happening? What is going on? What's going on with first party? Well, now we know what's going on with first party. Canceled games, layoffs. That's what we know. As far as right now, that's what we know. Canceled games, layoffs, and live service. That's all we got. What else is there? And then if you bring that up, if you make that case, if you say that, what's the response?
It's not that big a deal.
That's what people were saying for 2 years. Oh, you're overreacting. Be patient. Be patient. The games will come. We got games coming right now. Be patient. It's still a cause for concern. Yo, Barry, what up, bro?
Yo, what up? Do I sound weird? Let me know if I sound weird or sound different.
No. It's me. I gotta turn this down. Hold up. You really loud. Say something again.
I with some settings as well, but I didn't get I didn't do like a voice check on my
No,
part.
you good. You sound good. Pause. But go ahead. Talk to the people.
Nah, listen. Oh man, listen.
Yo, yeah. Y'all getting a mini WUPS, man, because there's no WUPS this weekend. So we gonna make this a mini WUPS. Fuck it. We gonna make it a mini WUPS. Go ahead, Barry. My fault.
When I speak, you need to listen. Huh? Because I'm sick and tired of these Johnny come lately motherfuckers, right? These people that they gotta wait until they get the news to say, look what's going on. You know what I mean? Today I see the craziest shit in the world. Yo, for years, Persona, for years since PlayStation 5 launch, we've been very critical on PlayStation marketing, first party marketing, how they should present the games, and people in the chat, people on Twitter, they say, "Oh, you're a fanboy. Look at these fanboys. Look at these corporate slaves. Look at it. Look at this. It's record breaking profits and revenues. What you worried about, man? What you worried about? PlayStation didn't say that. Are we still getting the games? This man just came out here and told y'all that multiple games got canceled, studios got closed, they're restructuring how they put out their first party games. So you don't even know when you're gonna see these games. You know what I mean? I've been saying it for the longest. Like I feel like when it comes to third party, second party, first party, PlayStation, they be putting out some stuff, but the future of PlayStation, we don't know. Where I always been the comparisons between the PS4 marketing and the PlayStation 5. And it's a stark difference in how they market and how they televise their games. You know what I mean? With the PS4, we knew what was coming. We knew what games that we was getting in the present, the future, and beyond the future. We always knew what was coming. There's no time in the PS4 where it was just like, oh, damn, it's 2018. What the hell are we gonna get this year? Never. It was never that time. PS5, we don't know what the hell's going on. But for the times that I bring these conversations on What's Up PlayStation, when we have the topic, you see the chat. Yo, that's why I put that super chat. Yo, I really want to go back. If I was one of these dudes, I really want to go back into them chats and look at these people, what they've been saying. Telling them, we know what's wrong. We don't know what we're talking about. And every time, it might take a month, it would take 2 months.
It would be the same
right
thing.
Back.
It would be the same thing too, but where people would say, "Oh, we got games coming right now, so it's not that big a deal."
It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
Or when the news hit, they'll tell you, "Oh, but I always said, stop lying to the people." I'm sick and tired of people always saying, "I always said this. I told you." Okay, if you did that, show it. Show us a clip. Show us a tweet. Show it. You never see it. It's always, "I told you." I was so baffled today that people was trying to tell me, "I told you so." I'm like, how the hell you tell me so? Look at the content I've been putting out on the channel and the topics that we been talking about whoops for the last months.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How you gonna tell you? How you gonna say, "Hey, you told me so"? The hell is going on? I'm in the Twilight Zone.
That shit is crazy, boy. This stuff is crazy. And the funny thing is, like, yo, we still, even through all of this, we still don't know what's going on with PlayStation.
That's what I said earlier today.
That's the craziest.
I'm reading the joint, right?
Yeah.
I'm reading the Herman Host one, and I'm like, I get you, but you still are not transparent because you're telling us that you're making some reevaluations or whatnot. Okay, what is it? Are you transitioning from some of the live service stuff? Or are you going fully enthralled with the single player stuff? We don't know. You got people that's assuming X1 second joint games being canceled. What games? If the game is canceled, why you can't tell us? What games? That just like yo, you remember with the Naughty Dog? And I sat down here and I told people, I said, yo, really truly, I don't like this blog because they're being too vague. The game is canceled. Why are you holding back and telling us intricate details or details about it? Maybe we'll like it. Maybe it will spark some conversation. You know what I mean? And this is what they're doing it again here. You're just saying stuff, generic, baseless stuff, so people can just assume and create these conversations and these what ifs. I'm sick and tired of the what ifs, man. I've been joking around and roasting Xbox dudes since 2016. What if? Because that's all they used to do is what if. What if they did this at E3? What if Phil Spencer did this? What if this? And now we doing it here over PlayStation because they're hitting you with the same generic type articles where you just leave you to question and assume and what if? What if it's not though? What if it's somebody told me it's like, well, all the games that they people that they probably let go were the people that was doing games as a service stuff. So I say you magically just left out Insomniac as well. You know what I mean? Like, yo, if there was one thing, one studio, you think you would keep them people there as far as the productivity and what they're pumping out.
We gonna get to that. Trust me, we gonna get to that. We gonna get to that.
You know what I mean? So yeah, this is what I said for Herman Hulst joint, and I like Herman Hulst. I think Herman Hulst is a good dude, but I'm just sick and tired of vagueness when it comes to PlayStation. This is why I said the tweet earlier, like, yo, I wish I wasn't even so invested in gaming because, you know what I mean, as invested as you are, you want the people to talk to you like you got some common sense or you got sense. Like, I feel like these motherfuckers PBS people all the goddamn time like was slow and not give all details. I'm not saying you have to give every single detail. I don't want the in and outs in the books and all that shit. But if you're leading out stuff with like, we respect the community and we understand the PlayStation community and this and that, like, yo, the vagueness stuff is unnecessary. It just creates more of a rabbit hole that you're already in. I said I don't like Herman Hulst's vagueness in his blog. What are the changes? What got canceled? What are you doing going forward? Should be explained thoroughly if you respect the community, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, you lead up. All we've been getting from PlayStation stuff is articles of the text, and we don't know shit. You know what I mean? From before the PlayStation start, when it was like, yo, 24 games in development, half of them is new IPs, and we was assuming for a good 2 years, like, what's going on? Wow, you know what I mean? That we got more vagueness. Oh, PlayStation is a core essence of what we're doing, but all the core essence of what you're doing, all we see is price increase, cancel shit, cancel this. Oh, we're gonna charge you more.
Hold on. Yo, Jack, if you want to pull up, man, you're free to pull up as well. I pinned the Discord link to the chat to the top if anybody want to give their thoughts. Go ahead, Barry. My fault.
It's just pure bullshit.
Nah, I agree. It's one of
the people that aren't in the PlayStation community like that, aren't in the know. They're gonna look at you like, oh, well, you know, you shouldn't be so invested. You shouldn't like games so much. Shut your ass up.
Yo, that's
You know what I mean?
that's the thing. That's the funny thing with me when it comes to this type of stuff. It's like, yo, it's real funny how so nonchalant people tend to be when it comes to this stuff. When I'm like, yo,
because they're not gaming. They don't play games on PlayStation like that. They one in the blue moon gamers that they wait for a specific game and play on PlayStation. Then they want to dictate what, how, and how PlayStation gamers should feel. One more thing before I shut up, Persona, right? Because I know what Hard was doing here, because he definitely was baiting. But this is exactly what I mean when I say this stuff, right? So the whole time I'm looking at this shit, and I say, and we've been saying this for years. We've been saying it for a long time. When will the PlayStation fan see the benefits from putting games on PC or mobile? I should have included the TV shows in there as well, and the movies. You know what I mean? Everything is it's for the benefit of PlayStation, the growth of PlayStation, this and that. I'm still waiting. Game cancellation, increase in pricing games and services, devs losing their jobs. The same people that create these wonderful games or these masterpieces or these PlayStation essence type games, it's getting let go as well. And it's not just and you see how piecemeal they did the news today. How they started off, or they let you know one thing: London Studios is closed down. Then we had to wait an hour later to see more from Herman Hulst and more from Jason Schreier, because you can't even compact it, consolidate everything, and give people the news. Everything got to be trickled, or it got to get some drip feed from somebody else. But the main question is, where's the payoff? I don't see the payoff. I play on this motherfucker every single day, possibly. I don't see the payoff for a PlayStation fan, a PlayStation console gamer, with all these moves that they're doing. I haven't seen it yet. I don't see more games. I don't see lower prices. I don't see multiplayer being free. I don't see none of that shit. What are we benefiting? We don't even know what first party's doing. Every first party announcement for the most of the part is you doing your shit on another platform that don't require online payment. You get the game cheaper. How is that? How are the PlayStation fans the core audience? I'm gonna shut up, man. Y'all can go.
No, it's a lot of good points, man. I think it's one of those situations where, where we're at now in gaming, and it's like I said earlier, I know that the gaming landscape is changing. I know that, the live service bug has really swept the industry, where you're looking at the successes of like Fortnite and what's all these other live service games. I can't real, so I'm drawing a blank at live service games, bro. It's crazy. But just the success of live service, when and it's not a big success. It's a very small success because it's only a finite number of games that really have that breakout success, right? A great example of this is Helldivers 2, right? Helldivers 2 is a live service game, and it's seeing tremendous success right now, where potentially the game could be sitting at 4, 5, 6, 7 million copies sold. That's the numbers that's floating around, right? We don't really know the official numbers yet, but we do know that the game is seeing a lot of success, and we see that PlayStation has pivoted to putting more of their money into live service over single player. Now, and it's funny because Mario, remember that spreadsheet that came out 2 years ago when they were doing their end of fiscal year sheet of showing what the investments were going to be and how everything was going to go. I think it was like 2021, 2022. And more money at the time was being invested into live service than single player. But they were saying, oh, don't worry, blah, blah, blah. I'm not really, for me personally, I'm not really seeing the fruits of those investments yet. None of us have. We're just starting to see that with Helldivers. Hopefully Concord can stick the landing as well. But there's also been many that clearly have fallen through. We see London Studio. They were making a fantasy MMO RPG live service game that's now done. That studio is now shut down, London Studio, which is crazy. Twisted Metal was going to be a live service, shut down. Deviation Games, they most likely cut funding and severed ties with that game. We're seeing more blunders with their live service endeavors than successes. Not to take away from the success of those games, but that, the Bungie acquisition, and we're seeing what's going on with them, and not meeting their quotas and not meeting financial quotas, and 45% plummet in revenue, which is insane. And the reason why they were bought for $3 billion, and that's the reason why PlayStation bought them, because of their success. And listen, don't get it twisted. I do think Bungie as a studio, and when it comes to Destiny, although they've had a lot of mess ups, I do think when it comes to live service, they are someone that's a bit more well equipped at speaking to those successes and those failures. So I understand it from that perspective. But when you're looking at it holistically and looking at the grand picture, it's garbage. It's not panning out. It's not looking right.
No, I 100% agree. It's wild out here, man. Like everything that's been going on and stuff, like, what I'm saying? Like me, myself, what I'm saying? I've been gaming on.
Who that? That's it, Nate?
Obvious. Yeah, Nate.
Oh, what up, bro?
What's going on, man?
Chilling, man.
But yeah, man, what I'm saying? Like I've been gaming on PC since the 90s. I've been gaming on PlayStation since day one. What I'm saying? I've been here for the whole 30 years, what I'm saying? And the reason why I always explain to people why I mess with them the long way, what I'm saying, is because they always delivered what I wanted as a consumer, you know what I mean? Especially offering me stuff that only was done on PlayStation, regardless. I've been on this PC stuff long before everybody was excited about DLSS and all this other feature crap. Like, I'm not even sweating that. So I don't get excited about some of the things that new people get excited about when it comes to that. Like, I've been on these, and it's like you said, you guys are not seeing the benefit of a lot of this stuff that they're saying, largely because, again, they're overly quiet, right? And I'll be the first person to tell people, I'm going to be the most critical about PlayStation all the time, and I know that all the time as a company, I gotta stay on their head. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, we gonna end up like the other people that were quiet. You know what I mean? Like for the longest time, I was like, man, it's crazy. Xbox dudes just accepting that. Okay, now they're just accepting that, and it just kind of kept rolling and rolling and rolling. And now they're in a place where honestly, a lot of them are unhappy. But if you looked at the generalized, reception on Twitter and some of those YouTube channels, you would have thought Xbox was doing the greatest it ever had. And it's like, but I'm like, why would we lie like that? You know what I'm saying? Because genuinely, I've seen, like you said, y'all been on it, I've been on it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something I want to see go to the wayside. I even some of the other generalized stuff that I see coming from people throughout this situation. Some of the, of course, the PC dudes are excited that they think what this means or what that means because they want an excuse to never have to buy a PlayStation again in their life. Trust me, that's exactly what they want. Um, but people think that's what they want. But at the end of the day, it's really about the games, right? And you never want to see, I promise you, they never want to see a world where PlayStation loses all incentive to create games. Like that is largely because they are a platform holder, and this is why they do what they do. There is no such thing as a first-party PC game developer. That's not a thing. Nobody owns the platform. PlayStation does what they do because they stand to gain based on what they put out in the world via hardware, and 100% software gains when you buy things via PSN. Like that's just what it is. But like you said, lately they've been overly quiet, and it's been years now, you know what I mean? And now like it's crazy to me seeing like a lot of their statements ended up being PR double speak when it's like I never had to ask a question when PlayStation put out a statement. It was always like crystal clear. Now you got people, interpreting, what Hiroki Totoki said and all this and that. And it's like it's crazy to me because that was never how PlayStation was. And like you said, we all been in this for so long. We know how it was. We was there when the E3 was on stage and everybody gasped in the crowd because it looked so amazing. You know what I mean? Everybody want to see that continue. And that's like people don't understand what they're asking for sometimes. And that's where sometimes I feel like the people like us that have been in it really gotta like be at the head of this stuff because people really believe like if everything just went everywhere it would be wonderful. And I'm like, look, dude, you are going to see one of the worst results you've ever seen
But
should that ever happen.
the reason why that logic doesn't make sense to me is because we're seeing third-party developers also have layoffs, and their
Exactly.
games are everywhere. Like that's why I'm saying, like, and I'm gonna talk about the whole exclusivity thing later. But this is why,
hmm
like, this whole this needs to be on Xbox or this needs to be everywhere. No, that's not a fix, right? It's clearly bigger than that. It's the profit margins, it's the revenue that people want to see. But it's funny. I hate to bring this up, but I'm gonna bring it up because me and Bart were having a back and forth back in like 2 weeks ago in Chris's space or a week ago, talking about
And look how
making
it
those
turned out.
smaller games, right? And this is what I'm gonna say about that. This plays into what I was saying, where look what PlayStation is saying. The goal is to streamline our resources to ensure that we have continued success and ability to deliver experiences gamers and creators have come to expect from us. What I said last week in Chris's spaces, where PlayStation is right now, they can't go back. They can't. And we're seeing the remnants of what that looks like, of them not being allowed to go back. And like I said last week, if PlayStation came out on stage, or one of these big first party studios that PlayStation has came out on stage and showed something that was AA or even single A, or something that was a lower quality, people in this community would not accept that.
No, I agree with
They
you. And
wouldn't.
I had that discussion with Morgan this morning. And you know Morgan.
Yeah. Shout out to Morgan.
And she was saying yeah, she was
She
saying the
cute.
same thing. Because we were having that discussion with her and my girl and stuff, and she was like, well, why don't they drop it? But to a certain degree. And obviously that conversation was coming up because we were all playing Helldivers, right? And Helldivers is obviously not their traditional type, but the game, we've all played it, still looks really good. You know what I mean? It obviously doesn't take as much money and as many assets to develop. And, she was saying, why don't they kind of transition or move into that, or, obtain other studios and have them do that while maintaining the third, the higher tier AAA games at the same time. And we're like, well, that's the only way they could do it, because they always have to maintain, you know, the top tier essence that is the Naughty Dog, Insomniac, Sucker Punch, Ben, all these people that have pushed the top tier. Because I mean, even you see it even at DICE, right? When their peers talk with them, like a lot of times they're the ones doing the talking and, you know, educating people and bringing them to the next level. And you even hear it when we hear it in the community from some of the devs that have worked all across the industry, and you hear the difference in what they talk about once they work at a Naughty Dog or Santa Monica Studios, and they talk about how they leveled up in their animation, you know, ability and all these other things, right? So yeah, I mean, it's an interesting place where they, like you said, kind of gotta pivot, but like you said, at the same time, you can't go back with the mainstay studios that you got, and right now also being quiet on top of that
Mm-hmm.
and not being clear is crazy, because that has never again been a problem from PlayStation. And like, it's like, again, people thinking we're crazy, you know, because like Barry said earlier, you know, these new people haven't been here the whole time, you know, they're jumped in on PS4 or you know, into PS4 or whatever. And it's like, nah, this is not how PlayStation moves. You know what I mean? They've always shown us the stuff up front, everything, you know, like I said, there's no questions. And it's like, I've even seen people who have been here long enough. Like, it's been so long that PlayStation's been the way that we were used to, that people that have even been doing it as long as us seem like they've forgotten. You know, they're like, nah, PlayStation didn't do that. And I'm like, what? Like, were you not there? You know what I mean? And at all the E3s where they shut it down, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, yes, they have. Like, you know what I mean? But it's just been so long that they starting to look unrecognizable, and people starting to forget, and that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yo, I see
And
I see Jack move here. I see uppercase. And Corey
Yes,
pulled
sir.
up. Yo, Jack.
What's good, brother? What's good?
That foreshadowing, boy.
Man, bro. This is crazy, bro.
Hey, yo,
It's crazy, dog.
talk to me, Jack. Talk to me, Jack. What the pony commissioner got to say? Yee.
Look, I'm gonna say something. I know a lot of people that's watching this not gonna like it. I'm
Uh-oh.
sorry. It's how I feel. This
Uh-oh.
generation, while there has been some standout games this generation, overall, this generation has been an abject failure. I got a few reasons I feel like that, and I ain't gonna try to get into all of them. But if we being blunt, we've been playing glorified PS4 games this whole generation. It is what it is. Like I said on Twitter, man.
We
if you look at
got
Sony-
we got some PS5 games sprinkled in there too. We have
Yeah. So
Ratchet
check me
and
out, right?
Clank Returnal, Spider-Man,
Yeah.
Horizon Forbidden. Well, that's a PS4 game. So yeah, Ratchet and Clank Returnal, Spider-Man 2. I
So
think.
check me out.
Go ahead.
So historically, Sony, like I said on Twitter, you know, the first 3 years is kind of slow, kind of quiet, sparse, as some people like to call it. But after that, you know, they full swing with the games, right?
Mhm.
So I feel like we've really just playing the full swing version of the PS4 right now. That's what we playing, man. Like, if we being honest, that's what it is, right?
Mhm.
And I love second party games. Don't get it twisted. We always need second party games. I would never make fun of a second party game, but there's ramifications to that. Why do we love PlayStation? Most of us love PlayStation because of the exclusive titles, the games we can only get on PlayStation, even if they were second party, like a Yakuza or a Persona. Before this generation, now those games are everywhere. So they lost the value proposition in that alone, and they might not have been up to them, but they lost that value proposition, right? Things we used to make fun of. We used to make fun of Xbox guys. Oh, y'all games going to PC. Oh, y'all ain't got no games because y'all ain't got no first party developers, or your first party developers are quiet. Oh, y'all hyping up peripherals instead of games right now. Oh, y'all want to do TV shows and movies. What else they want to do? Like, all this shit. I feel like I'm looking in a fucking mirror. Right? I mean, excuse me. I feel like I'm looking in a mirror right now, right? Cause the same stuff we made fun of, we used to laugh at second party money had deals. Oh, y'all paid for Tomb Raider exclusivity. Oh, y'all paid for Fallout exclusive. Now we hype for exclusivity. We can't wait to get that. You know what I mean? It got to the point where PlayStation fans, they don't even know that Square Enix is not a first party studio. These are the type of people we're dealing with. It's just a lack of knowledge. The IQ in this gaming industry, in this gaming community, is in the dirt right now. It is what it is. Let me see what else. Okay, I'm gonna say this. What we're seeing now, this is all the result of Jim Ryan's regime. We seeing the first shoe drop right now. A lot of stuff he had in plans, it just wasn't feasible and it wasn't gonna work. Launching 12 games as a service at one time when you're historically not even known for making multiplayer games like that was a horrible idea. And since then, they've canceled or delayed half of those games, if not more, with the news today. So, and one last thing I'll say, I was listening earlier, Jay Barry. It's just crazy, Jay Barry, how everybody, their first reaction is, oh, I told y'all this was going to happen. I told you so. Damn, really? Okay, cool. So why y'all try to kick me out the community? Why was y'all roasting me all them years? Now I'm a pessimist, like I said earlier. You know, y'all, I feel like y'all more optimists, right? Y'all try to see the good and shit. I'm more of a guy, bro. I see shit for what I'm like, it's looking spooky. Oh, that ain't the last thing I'm gonna say. This is the last thing I'm gonna say. I'm gonna tell you the day I knew this shit was going left. This happened on the same day if you go back and look. The day they announced that MLB The Show was going multi-platform, and they also announced that they was allowing console crossplay. Those two announcements happened on the exact same day. And ever since then, I just ain't been feeling what we've been seeing, bro. And that's it.
So real quick before somebody else go, I just wanted to go in on something because I do agree with you, and I've said this. You described it a little differently, but statistically, what normally happens with PlayStation, like you said, they usually start slow, and then usually in about the third year, I describe it typically like a runner. You know what I'm saying? You get off the blocks, and then by the time they get in the standing position, they in full sprint. That's
Yep.
usually how PlayStation is about that third, fourth year, and we just eating after that. And it's like for some reason, there's like some middling ground there. And one of the things that I said, and I kept telling people, they slowly getting chipped away on the outside at those de facto exclusives they used to get. Like you mentioned, the Persona and the Yakuza, and people were like, "Oh, that's not that big of a deal." And I'm like, "Nah, but you think so?" But those games are getting bigger and bigger now, and PlayStation carried them joints on their back to where they at today, and then other games are slowly being chipped away too. And I was like, "That's what's happening." It's like it's a slow erosion, you know what I'm saying, happening, and it's like, "Oh, that game's coming too. That game's coming too." You know what I mean? And it's like in the meantime, PlayStation's losing a lot of those that, like you said, used to be synonymous with them. And yeah, of course, we still gonna outsell everybody else because it's still synonymous with the gang. But like I said, let something like what you've been fearing, you know what I'm saying, on Twitter, them going day and date happen. Bro, I'm telling you, PlayStation 6 will look like the sales at Xbox right now. Mark my words, bro. Mark my words.
Oh,
I am a
Lord.
PC dude to the death of me, bro. But like I said, I've been in this PlayStation stuff since day one too. But PC dudes just don't. They got a certain thing that they like. This is why games like League of Legends, Valorant, Final Fantasy 14, and all these games thrive over there. And these little ugly survival games that they love. You know what I'm saying? I understand that market to a T. And it's like the one thing they gonna do when they get PlayStation first party games, you still gonna see that same thing happen that you saw happen to God of War, where it's pirated 20 minutes after it's up, and it's gonna be 10 million downloads day one. It's not that it's not gonna sell, but what's gonna happen is a lot of these dudes, when you look on Twitter, when people post they setups and stuff, right? What do you see in that setup all the time next to their PCs they be bragging about? A PlayStation and a Nintendo Switch. Next generation is going to be a Nintendo, whatever the hell they come out with, and a PC if PlayStation keep playing around. Like, watch what I say.
And you know what's crazy, bro? I feel like, you know how I know day and date coming, bro? Because if you look at a game like Spider-Man, it got like roughly almost 60 million combined sold. Horizon, which got around 40, 30 million. The Last of Us, what, another 30 million. God of War, just the last two games alone, what, 45? So you're hearing the numbers we throwing out, brother. Like, these are like NBA contracts right now, right? So if them games selling that much ain't enough to keep them off another platform, hey, man, it's over with, bro. That's how I
Well,
see
and
it.
that's the thing that's wild, right? People always, obviously, we know this is a joke. You know what I'm saying? I heard Barry and them laugh about this all the time, where people try to belittle the numbers that PlayStation exclusives be putting up, because we be putting them numbers up. Make no mistake. You know what I mean? Spider-Man 2, over 10 million in under 4 months. God of War Ragnarok, 15 million in like a year. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, you got dudes over here telling you, you know what I'm saying, you need PC, and yet one of the most celebrated single player $70 games of last year, Resident Evil Remake, is just barely celebrating going over 5 million. But they gonna help us though. So explain to me why Resident Evil should never have you know what I'm saying, been behind anything PlayStation exclusive, because it released on everything. It had
Yep.
Xbox and it had PC. So tell me where them sales gonna come from in single player first party. Like I'm not telling y'all PC dudes don't buy games, but what I'm telling you is that's why stuff like Helldivers is selling because the one thing you can't do with Helldivers, if you want to be, even if the game was piratable, you can't get on official servers and play with everybody, even if it was. So they can't really do it. So that's why it's not piratable, and that's why that stuff is selling. That's why I said, you know, I've spoken about this online and I told people like, look, this is why it's selling. This is why they love this. Stick to this and PlayStation will be fine, right? And get, you know, give us that update, get transparent with us the way you used to, show us these first party games and show us you got it going like you always have and you'll be fine. But make that mistake and open Pandora's box and you're going to be looking like Xbox, bro. I'm telling you. Like it's not a joke.
Let me get
And I don't want that.
Let me get 'cause I know it's a lot of people I want to talk. Yo,
Yeah,
Uppercase J and Corey. What's good? Uppercase J, what up, man?
What's good?
What's goody, man?
Let me. My doorbell ringing. I don't know if anybody getting the door. Hold on. Let me see. Somebody getting that? Okay, somebody got it. Okay. So, I'm not gonna act like I'm an expert on the business side of it all, but I'm interested in people. I'm interested in behavior. I love seeing what makes people tick, what motivates people, and this is something I've been saying forever. And people did not want to believe me. They wanted to argue me to death. But when your opinion on something, the value you have in something is always juxtaposed to something else, then you aren't really interested in the value of that thing. So what I mean by that is I always hear about Xbox in a lot of these conversations. Now, you know, of course, present company excluded because everybody seems to be interested in what's going on with PlayStation. But a lot of the conversation is about, well, Xbox is doing XYZ, they're failing, where's the games, blah, 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 blah. So when all of these things were announced that PlayStation was doing, investing in live service, PC, all of this stuff, and people were saying, hey, this might not be a good thing. Well, look at Xbox. Xbox is doing this. Like, if that's what you're worried about, like, because Xbox has an F, you're okay with a D, you're the problem. You're the problem. Because these companies will listen to people like you. Look at the Xbox fans. They listen to people like you, and then they say, okay, well, we can get away with doing this. We can increase our bottom line. We can invest as little as possible, make as much as possible. And that's all businesses care about. Now, for 30 years, PlayStation has led the charge by having a very simple formula. Just flood the market with as much exclusive games as possible. Third party, first party, whatever. Just give you as much content, because it's all about content, to drive you to their platform. But as soon as it became, oh, well, we have, you start just focusing on the tentpole franchises to compare them to the next platform's tentpole franchises. And they say, okay, so as long as we have these 3 or 4 franchises that sell 20 million, we don't have to worry about these other franchises, these 30 franchises that might sell 2 or 3 million, because as long as we're out selling Halo and Forza and all of that stuff, that's great. Hey, baby. My daughter just came on.
Shout out.
It's okay.
It's all good. I mean, but it's one of those situations where for me, I'm looking at yo sick, pull up, bruh. Pull up. Tell sick to pull up, man. Yo sick, pull up, man. You ain't gotta talk in the chat, pull up. It's one of those conversations where, you know, we keep talking about this and I'm gonna keep saying it, man. Where PlayStation is within the game industry right now, man, they represent the highest of qualities. They represent that. And I think when it comes to the money, you know, and let's go back to Sean Layden. Shout out to Sean Layden, man. Right? Because Sean Layden said this 4 years ago, where he said the sustainability of AAA gaming is going to keep going up, and up. Where those profit margins going to keep going up, and up, that you're going to want to see to match the cost that's going into these games being made.
But look, I want to point at that because that's where I was going with it. So you have, Uncharted. Hey, baby, again. So you have Uncharted. Oh Lord. Okay, baby. Oh, I'll wait a second. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. I'll let Corey go. Yo, Corey, go ahead. And then Forte, I see you, bro. I see you, Forte. I got you. Yo, Corey, go ahead, man. Corey is a contrarian. So, you know,
I don't really see an issue with what PlayStation is doing because, you know, at the end of the day, we're getting the games.
Yo, Corey, where you at?
Oh man, that man stepped away. He was like, "I'll be back."
That boy said, I'll be back, yo.
All right, well, this shit.
Yeah,
My
go
daughter
ahead.
walked out the room.
Go ahead. Uppercase.
So yeah, like okay, so AAA isn't sustainable. So think about the history. Like I'll look at PlayStation 2, for example.
Mm.
The amount of games that were exclusive to that console alone that did not come from Sony first party. It was just a whole bunch of niche games or games that, you know, might have had a modest budget or whatever, but these games are selling 1 million, 2 million, maybe 3 million, which we tend to sneeze at in the community now because if it doesn't sell over 10 million, it's a flop, but that's a success, especially considering how much you might invest or how much it costs to make. So that's what's keeping a platform afloat. But if everything is always about selling 10 million, selling 20 million, you only have 4 or 5 franchises doing that, and then you're not, you know, supplementing with, you know, these other games that might sell 2 or 3 million, then where are you at? Like, all your money's being invested in these things, and like you said, it's not sustainable if you're spending 200, 300 million to produce these games, and then you end up having to close the studio, and you already invested 50 million in the title you might be developing. 100 million in the title you might be developing, and you have to pivot or you have to close the studio. That's not smart to me.
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, they've usually been statistically good at that stuff. I mean, we've seen where they stopped the previous thing. I think it was Santa Monica was working on something, and they literally came in and canceled it, and then made them start over, and that's where we ended up getting God of War 2018 from. So, I mean, statistically, they've been really, really good at knowing what to green light and what not. Because, like you said, yeah, that, you know, essentially inciting that overhead operating cost on something that ultimately doesn't come to market, you're just eating that cost. And I mean, that's not healthy in the slightest either. So they definitely got to be smarter, or at least as smart as they used to be, on what they're actually greenlighting and letting some of these project studios work on, especially some of these new studios that they brought in. But I see Corey back, so I'm gonna let him do his thing.
Yeah, Corey, what up, man? Corey, you gotta get your mic situation on point, bro. You can't be coming into the Discord talking about you gonna say something, but then you ain't talking. Unmute the mic. Put it on speaker and unmute it, or connect your headphones
Oh,
and
man,
do what you
struggling
do.
right now.
That boy's struggling.
He ain't struggling. He know he gonna say something that's dumb as fuck.
No, get him cooked.
I'm waiting for what he gonna say because I got plenty of stuff on the board.
Yo, Corey definitely was one of the few that was out there talking about.
I don't know why everybody's so worried about what the future of you know, PlayStation is. Focus on right now. We got the games coming right now.
That was what Corey was saying. Corey, what you got to say now?
Dummy, yeah.
See, a lot of people, they gonna come in and they gonna be like, yo, but the games that got canceled or the studio that got closed, nobody really bought those games. Yo, it's not about just the studio specifically. It's the principle of what they're doing.
It's the optics.
Is some of these games, we don't even know how these motherfuckers look.
It's the optics.
It's a stark difference on how the PlayStation 4 was marketing their games. We knew a game was shown in 2016. It came out 2018, 2019. We knew how the game looked, how it played. We knew everything about the game. So you can gather a proper feedback or opinion about it. If any of these games get canceled, we don't even know, and then you don't know how much longer.
It's the same thing with it's the same thing with Naughty Dog in Factions too. You cancel the project, but we don't even know what it was. You strayed us along for so long. Oh, keep tuned. Stay tuned, guys. We'll have something soon. Nothing this year. Nothing this year.
Let us cook.
And then when
We
you
cooking.
tell us, and then when you
The
tell
biggest
us,
host
and
in gaming.
then when you tell us, oh, we're gonna get some news last year, everybody excited. Then you tell us the shit canceled. What are we doing? There's a question I have for y'all, right? Because this part of it is crazy to me. Naughty Dog, Gorilla, and Insomniac. 3 of PlayStation's most successful studios. I'm surprised they didn't say Sony Santa Monica too. You putting out you cutting, but they cut from 3 of the most successful studios. People, what's y'all thoughts on that? Because to me, that's kind of crazy. Not kinda. That is crazy to see that 3 of your most successful and most, well, I won't say. I mean, Naughty Dog's definitely hasn't put out anything new since 2020, so I'll exclude them from that specifically. But most successful pumping out games studios, and you cutting from them. What's y'all thoughts? Talk to me.
I mean, personally, I thought about it because, like, I mean, obviously, yeah, like you said, my immediate thought process was like, yeah, that's crazy. The only thing that I could really think of to try and kind of placate my understanding, because obviously they weren't really clear, you know what I mean, and what they were saying and who, what exactly was cut, is that potentially, some of the people they're letting go from Naughty Dog are people that were hired specifically for factions, or in that particular nature, and then some of the people that they're letting go from the other 2 studios are people that were either something that was either doubled up, and they had other people that could do that particular position, and they weren't necessarily devs themselves, or particularly possibly contracts that possibly expired. Again, we're not really sure, unless they're gonna get specifics on who they let go. But yeah, I mean, like you said, though, the whole thing that you're seeing right now is the optics. And right now, letting go from those studios looks absolutely crazy, because you're talking about your tentpole top tier studios that have done nothing but produce for you. So yeah, I mean, cutting from anybody, like, to me, nobody deserves to be cut from that team. The only way I can see that is if literally, like, your job was like done. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. But other than that, yeah, I can't see why they would cut from them in the slightest. Those teams have done nothing but produce, especially Insomniac. So yeah, it was wild to me. So I don't disagree with what you're saying. It's just, but again, like you said, we lack in specifics, so it's crazy to kind of, like, we can't really speak on it as much as the way we really want to. But my hope is that's what they cut. You know what I'm saying? It's people who literally were either done or unnecessary at this point, and not getting crazy and cutting, like you cutting,
Yeah, but the thing is,
people,
these teams supposedly, these teams got multiple projects in the works, right? So it's like it's really weird to see any cuts from these teams, especially teams like this, because we know Horizon 3 is in the works. We know the Horizon multiplayer is in the works. We know that Naughty Dog is working on their next big single player experience, whatever that might be. And then they might potentially be doing The Last of Us Part 3. Or at least that the writing has started for that. Who knows? And then Insomniac, there's potentially multiple we know how they work, so there's multiple projects in the works for them as well. Just for me, again, and I'm on the outside looking in. So, it's one of those situations where I'm just like, it really lets me know that PlayStation is really chasing the purple dragon when it comes to what they're trying to do within the industry. I get that they're shifting, right? They're shifting, the industry is shifting, things are costing more to make. I know that. And I don't want to go down this road, because this is a whole different road that may open up, another can of worms. But, the importance of buying games, especially now, you understand? Like, I ain't gonna go down that road, because I know because I know people that'll say, well, subscription services are the. Listen, stop it. All right, we're not even going to entertain that. But it's just to see these layoffs continuously happen, especially hit PlayStation. You getting record profits. PlayStation's 21 million PlayStation sold in a year. You feel me? Record revenue, record profits, and like this is still happening. For me, it just seems strange, because it's like, how much more do you want? You feel me? Like it's just crazy. But I see Sick in here. I see Carbar Forte. Yo, Sick, I already know. I already know what you gonna say, bro. Go ahead.
Hey, listen, man.
Yeah, bro.
I'm pony extraordinaire, dog. Or at least that's what I've been called at some point in time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Y'all, nobody can make this make sense to me. I don't care how well you try to put it together, no matter how you speak on this, you're never gonna make this make sense to me, dog. 900 people laid off, and then you got motherfuckers talking about some, oh, Sony should go acquire some more studios.
Nah.
Ain't no way.
Nah.
Ain't no way, dog.
Mm-mm.
Here's the thing. First of all, I don't know who would join Sony at this point, bro. Like, what
Or
are
at
we
least
joining you
in this
for?
moment, like, you know, it's caution out there right now because it's like an acquisition doesn't necessarily mean your job is safe.
Dude,
We've seen remnants of that across all these, like Embracer,
they cut
Microsoft, all that stuff.
Insomniac, bro. They
Yeah.
cut Insomniac, bro.
Yeah.
They cut the one studio who has been producing like no other, bro. It would have made more sense for them to cut people from Bend before they cut people from Insomniac.
Mhm.
What the hell are we doing, dog? I mean, I've yet to hear anybody try to justify this by any means, so I ain't gonna sit up here and say that anybody's trying to justify this. But bro, I've been looking at Sony with the side eye for so long, to the point where I got to the point where I said I'm tired, dog. I'm gonna just do what's best for me, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like as much as I wouldn't even say that I'm loyal to PlayStation, but I prefer PlayStation as a platform.
Mhm.
Everything that I loved about PlayStation, they are slowly getting rid of it, bro. Nobody could make sense. Well, people tried to make sense out of getting rid of the fucking share button, making the share button virtually fucking useless. Hold on. Except if you want to share some shit to Twitter, I mean, to YouTube, right? But sharing pictures and shit like that, done deal.
Mhm.
They've hiked up prices. They merged these services, which I still don't understand why anybody would have fucking wanted them to do that. I told y'all when they did that, we were going to get less games, and that's exactly what the fuck we got. We got less games. As soon as they merged these services together, bro, the game count went down. How you have over 800 plus and then the game count go down?
Mhm.
And somehow you're paying more. Then they raised the PlayStation Plus Premium and extra tiers. And who the fuck did that make sense for?
Mhm.
You thought it was going to make sense because you're charging more and you know less people are going to stay subscribed, so you're kind of making it up on the back end?
Yeah,
Well,
and they
that shit
gave out
don't work.
worse games with that. Don't leave that out.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you, dog. Like, I've just really been looking at PlayStation like, what the fuck are you doing for a very long time? I don't know who they're listening to, because none of the shit that they're doing made any type of sense for me, bro.
Well, I
And
think I think they listen
I'm
to the shareholders, man. The shareholders want to see more profits, and that's who they're listening to. I think that's
well,
what
here's the
this
thing.
all
How you
is.
gonna see more profits if you got less games?
Mm.
You got less developers, you got less quality games going out there, and then when these reviewers rip that shit to shreds for not being up to par, because you know Sony got to be above better,
Mhm.
right? They can't just be normal, right?
Mhm.
Like, they can't come out with anything buggy. They can't come out with anything, not being all damn near perfect, right? And
Mhm.
they get scrutinized to no end, dog. I mean, come on, dog. Did y'all see the scores that PUBG got, dog? Come on, we all played that shit. We all played that shit, and it did not deserve anywhere close to a fucking 10. Are you fucking kidding me? But then let let one crash happen on the PlayStation game. Let you fall through one map on the PlayStation game. Nigga, it's a problem.
Mm.
So again, like I said, I ain't even really got no argument for it, dog. I just came in here to say it is what it is. And then I'm finna go back to doing what the fuck I was doing, because I gotta program this ASR 9000, bro. It's something else. Y'all don't know. It is what it
Do
is.
your thing, man.
But man, I appreciate it, bro.
Yes,
I'm getting the
sir.
fuck out of here. But I'm still listening.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
still
yeah,
listening.
yeah.
I
No
just
doubt.
came in here to say it is what it is. And I know niggas ain't gonna like it, bro. I was streaming Helldivers today, dog, and somebody was in there trying to justify these actions, and then come to find out they didn't even give a fuck about the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Literally didn't care what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, when that time comes, then there's nothing I can do. It is what it is. So you don't really care about this, but you're arguing this to me.
Mm.
Oh, they didn't really need those people. What?
Yo, that stuff like that is real crazy to me, man. Like that people like
What?
speak and think like that. Like it's like, yo,
They
bro,
didn't really need those people,
crazy.
but you want them to buy that, bro. They didn't restructure and send these people to different teams. They got rid of people from the only producing teams that they got.
Mm-hmm.
Close down London studio. There's never going to be a getaway ever again.
Crazy. Oh, we never gonna see that fantasy MMORPG.
We're never
project.
going to see the
Crazy.
fantasy MMORPG.
We don't even know. All we got is one screenshot of that game, bro. It's crazy how PlayStation been moving.
I knew something was wrong, and I've said this on multiple occasions, bro. The fact of how silent they are, and the fact that we never see any of their first-party games at these shows is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Bro, they showed Spider-Man to death. They showed Spider-Man so much, I got tired of seeing Spider-Man.
Mm.
And I was just like, what the fuck?
Yo,
But then I thought this was part of their new rollout. I thought this was part of their new rollout.
I gotta give Barry his flowers, right? Because 2 or 3 years ago now, I remember we was on WUPS. It's the early days of WUPS, and we was having conversations about PlayStation skipping out on some of these other trade shows and events and doing their own thing. And originally I was like, yo, PlayStation can do their own thing, as long as they doing the shows and the showcases and in the state of plays or whatever, we're fine. But now we're not. Yeah, exactly. But now we're not even seeing PlayStation games at their own shows and showcases. and for me, that's worrisome because it's like, yo.
Well, hold on. But let me ask you a question, and I promise you I'm leaving after this. But let me ask you a question.
What's up?
When they announced that PSVR2, they're testing PSVR2 on PC, what did you think about that?
Like, what I think, like my thoughts on it going to PC? I thought that they were just going to test I figured they were just going to allow you to use the PSVR2 on PC with VR capable games.
Oh,
I thought that was it. That's it.
They waving the white flag with that, bro.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, with VR2.
That's waving the white flag. Hold on.
As a failure.
Let me explain this to me. Let me break this down to you so you understand what the fuck I'm saying here, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You're putting your hardware device on another device that gets way more games than your device, and you're not making a single cent except for the initial purchase of the headset, which most cheap bastards on PC gonna buy that shit used anyway. So you're not gonna make a single fucking dime off of it, bro. You're making no residuals. We should have knew something was up when you couldn't buy any Sense controllers, bro. None.
Yeah, that was very strange that they wouldn't allow you to buy the Sense controllers separately like that. Very, very strange.
So now they're telling you, hey, we're making this compatible with PC. They don't have their own launcher. They don't have no way to protect that device.
Mm-hmm.
They throwing that shit out in the wild, bro. And what are you doing? Now those PC guys gonna advertise your shit working better on their device. Eventually getting the people, because listen, I hear people talking, I hear people say, I'm never going to PC, blah, 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 blah. Y'all niggas going. Y'all motherfuckers gonna go. Because to a certain degree, you gonna start looking like Boo Boo the Fool out here, bro. You gonna start looking like Boo Boo the Fool out here, bro. You seeing motherfuckers getting a better experience, they gonna eventually get your shit day and day, and niggas was killing me for that. But I said that shit. I
was saying that stuff a long time ago, bro. Remember when he was first talking about the no adverse reaction and all this stuff? Even before Barry, remember? Bro, we were talking about that for a minute. That's why I don't really talk about that anymore, because I've talked about it into the ground. My stance on day and date, in my opinion, day and date anything. I'm not even just talking about PlayStation. This applies to Xbox as well, because we've seen what's happened where the Xbox console has diminished significantly.
This motherfucker Jack move was right the whole time, bro.
Where if PlayStation does day and date, yeah, there's still people going to buy the console. Of course, I'm not saying that it will just like not be bought, but it would diminish the value of the console because there's nothing really exclusive to keep you from saying you need to have a PlayStation or you have to have a PlayStation. Day and date kills that argument. It kills that selling point. You have to have this because you can only play this here.
And now you have a headset, a $600 headset that they sold to us that will work elsewhere. You're taking everything that makes your console look appealing and putting it elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
That makes no sense to me.
Mm.
In the scheme of things, it makes sense when you say, hey, broadening the audience, you can make, it's going to bring revenue, blah, blah, blah.
Which
we heard that
was
lie.
but see,
that
was
that lie didn't work.
no, but see,
Nah.
let me play devil's advocate on that. Hold on, let me play devil's advocate on that, right? Because
Oh,
I do
boy.
think. Hold on. Let me say this.
No, I want to hear this.
I
wanna hear this.
agree that I don't like the aspect of games going to PC day and date, right? Or really PlayStation or even Xbox games, really, like because multiple reasons. When a developer has to focus on more than one SKU, we know that the quality of a game typically dips. And if PlayStation is all about if PlayStation is all about quality, like what they're saying, what Jim Ryan is saying here, and keeping the quality and things like that as high as it can be, that means that exclusivity should still be something that's on the list because developers themselves have come out and said it's much easier to focus on one SKU or developing for one console than multiple. And if PlayStation developers who are typically capable, typically have made games for specifically PlayStation platforms, now have to become multi-plat or get help from outside sources or wherever, I'm worried that the quality that people have grown accustomed to with PlayStation will dip because of it. But when it comes
That's
to
already out the window, brother.
I mean, yeah, but where I'm playing devil's
Concord
advocate.
Concord is next.
Well, we know the games as a service, like the games as a service stuff. We know about that. Like I'm not even talking about that.
After that.
I'm talking about the
Fair
single player
after
game.
that.
I'm talking about the single player games. The single player, the tentpole titles that we've grown to love from PlayStation. That's kind of where my thought process is coming from with this. Where I'm like,
they're rolling into that right now. Let me tell you how that rollout is going to go. They're going to say, to help ensure the level of quality that we've had, we've made the difficult decision to put XYZ game, whatever that game is, we're going to launch that day and date with a PC release.
But you know what's funny? But you know what's funny? I don't.
He ain't lying, bro.
But you know what's crazy? Sick Forte, right?
Bro.
I'm not. If they were to come out and say that tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised. Because we've already seen. Because we've already. Here's my thing. When the PC stuff.
Before you go into that, let me tell you what has happened. You are now where they need you to be.
He's not lying, bro.
This is where they've been trying.
Trust me, I know. Sick, trust me, I know.
He ain't lying,
Sick, trust me. Ever since this whole PC shit started, I already knew what it was. That whole no adverse reaction stuff. It was only going to be old PS4 games. Now we get PS5 shit going there. I already knew. Me and Barry talked about this painstakingly. I already knew the roadmap. I already knew, but that's why you knew
the road. But you knew the roadmap. But the majority of the people that are where they are now didn't believe that roadmap was coming.
I believed it. As soon as he said what he said, I knew it was coming. I knew. But that's why I kept saying, if PlayStation goes day and date, what's the bet? One of the things I used to always say on my show, and for people that have been watching my show for a long time, you know this. When the walls come down for PlayStation, what do PlayStation fans get? Nothing. So it's like, bro, why continue to why continue
asking this entire time, Persona? There's one question that I've been asking.
I'm gonna let you go after 14.
And that question is, when are we going to see the benefits of all this shit going to PC? And what I said is, my nigga, we are getting less. We are getting less the more they put on PC. Do any of y'all remember me saying that? Because I don't want y'all to say this nigga just talking. Yeah, sure. He came in here and said this. Bro, I said this shit so long ago, dog. I said, where is our benefit, bro? I was pissed. And matter of fact, Corey was getting in my ass because he was like, dog, Man, here you go. Always talking
Oh,
about
we
this
gonna
is
get at
da da
Corey.
da
We
da.
gonna
Just
kick his
always this
shins.
and that.
Trust me.
Huh?
We gonna kick Corey's
Yeah.
shins. He in here now. Oh yeah.
I'm in here now.
Oh, and
I'm
your
in here
mic
now.
work. Oh, and
And I
your
got
mic work.
And I got
Corey,
my mic situated.
how many times, Corey, have I been saying this stuff and you've been like, "Oh, here you go crying again." Da, 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 da. Now look at it, bro. I want to see how you're gonna flip this. I want to see how you're gonna damage control this. I'm gonna be out of the chat, but I appreciate you guys
Oh
allowing
yeah.
me to
Shout out
come
to you,
up here.
Sick. Shout
Man,
out to
y'all
you,
have a
Sick.
good one, man.
Yeah. Shout out to you, man. I
Bro,
appreciate you.
why would I need
Forte,
to
let me
download-
because I know Corey been trying to speak. As a Corey, Forte, I'm gonna let you go, and Carba, I'll let
Oh
y'all
no,
go.
you're good, bro. I'm just sitting here chilling.
All right, cool. Corey, come to the front of the congregation. We need to talk.
I am here, good sir. What's up? What's going on, Persona?
I need
What's going
you.
on, chat?
I need
going
you
on,
because
everyone
you
in
you
the
have been in my chat personally on my personal channel and whoops. Oh, Barry Persona,
Absolutely.
You're overreacting. It's not that big a deal. The games are still releasing, so why does it matter? Huh? We're getting brand new games right now. Why are you worried about games that's not even out yet?
That was you, Corey. I remember
was me.
vividly. I remember vividly. I never forget.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm glad that you don't.
Talk to us,
Glad that
brother.
you don't.
You see what's going on with PlayStation? Talk to us, man. What's your thoughts?
So can I have a general question that I need to ask? Are we having this conversation as fans of PlayStation? Or are we having this conversation about the business of video games and PlayStation?
Both. Now go.
The reason why I'm asking, because there is a distinction here when we say things like,
Well, how is it well, okay. So let me ask this
there
question.
is a there is a distinction here because when we say things like, oh, PlayStation is all about their first party, that's not what PlayStation started out as. First party, all first party.
But that's what they are
Where's
now.
all the first party? No. That's not what they are right now. Even during the PS4 generation, they weren't all first party. One of the
But
biggest
some of their
games from
biggest-
the PS4 generation was a second party game made by From Software called Bloodborne. IP Sony owns, made by a studio that they do
God of
not
War.
own.
God
That's
of
what
War
second
sold
party
more
is.
than God of War sold more than
Big-
Bloodborne though. God of War 2018.
God of War sold more than Bloodborne, but Bloodborne was still one of the most identifiable games from the PS4
So is God of
generation. We
War.
cannot
So is God of War
deny that.
2018. What's your point? God of War
Okay,
sold
so we're
God of War 2018 sold over 20 million copies. That is a PlayStation first party game.
So we're gonna say that games that are indicative of the PlayStation genre are all only first party. That's it, right?
Well, no, when
That's what we're saying.
brother,
That's
listen,
what we're saying.
brother.
We're saying
Why
games
are you
that
going down a
are-
rabbit hole?
I'm
Why are you going down a
not
rabbit hole?
going down
What
a
is this
rabbit hole.
news
I'm
about? What is
I'm
this
listening.
news about? No, you
asking
came
a
in here
question.
asking a
I'm
dumbass
asking
question.
you-
We
No,
talking about first
what-
party. PlayStation
Okay,
been involved as
you're-
a first
you're
party from
talking about
PS3.
first party.
No,
You're
they're talking about first party. What's
I'm
the job layoffs from? What are the job layoffs from, sir? What are you talking about? No, you're trying to deflect. You're coming in here. You're coming in here trying to insult people's intelligence, bro. You're coming in here trying to insult, but asking that dumbass question. What are we talking about? What are we? No, you know exactly what we're talking about. The brother just went for an hour about what he's talking about, man.
No, I'm not asking. I'm asking the people who are saying that this is something that is indicative of the PlayStation community, that it has been all first party.
Bro, I don't know
Because-
what you're talking about. We're talking about
I'm trying
first
to figure
party
out where you're
on the
going here.
news.
I'm trying to establish a baseline for what I have been saying. When Persona says to me, you've been saying X, Y, and Z in the chat. You said in Whoops, you said on 6 podcasts, you said in my personal podcast. What I have been saying is the PlayStation community has been built on more than just the first party. We have never been completely reliant on the first party since the origins of the PlayStation as a brand. We have never been completely reliant on the first party. This ain't Nintendo, bro. We have
Bro,
never.
You're going
we
down a
have
rabbit hole. You're opening
I'm
a can
not
of
going
worms
down
that
a rabbit
nobody.
hole. I'm not
Nobody
going
in
down a
here
rabbit
thinks
hole.
that
Sir, I am-
PlayStation is all about first party. We know that. We
when you-
understand that.
But when you say
Nobody,
to me,
we're saying
we
that
are
their
not
first
getting
party's
games,
being
when
quiet.
you say
They're
to
not
me
showing
we
their
are not
games.
getting
They're
games,
getting
and I
laid
say
off.
to you,
They're getting
when
games
I say
canceled,
to you,
and you're damage
when you
controlling
say
every time we
to
bring
me
this
we are
up.
not getting
Why they're
games,
not
and
marketing?
I say
I
to
would-
you,
wait, wait.
I am
There's
still
an issue.
sitting. I am still getting the same. I am still getting the same second party, the same third party games
That
that
has
I
nothing
got
to
with.
do
Yeah,
with
but
the
I would-
argument.
I would think.
So now we're changing the context, which is
No,
what
no,
we
no.
do
You're
on
you
Twitter.
changing. No, no, bro.
I'm
You're
not
changing the
changing the
context.
I'm
You're changing the
literally- I'm
context.
literally
Every
establishing-
time we
I'm
speak about
literally
first party
establishing
and
a
why they're not
baseline.
showing stuff,
I'm
nobody's complaining about
establishing a
second party.
baseline.
Nobody's complaining about third party. We're
Establishing a
complaining about
baseline.
why third party is being so first party is being so silent. You come up
They
in here and
literally
you
just
always
had
say
a
your little
first party
diatribe.
game. They literally just had a first party game. They literally just released a first party game in January. We're gonna discredit that.
Okay,
right?
what's the next one?
We're gonna
What's the next one?
discredit that. We're gonna say
You talk about the
they
last.
just
You
had
talk about
enough-
the. You
they
talk about
had
the
a
Last of
10
Us
million seller
remastered.
in November. They had a 10 million seller
What's
in
the
November.
next first party studio game? Come on, man. Yo, you out here. You're out of your league with the
Again,
debate shit. I don't know what the fuck
I'm
you're
not
doing.
even. I'm not even. Again, what I have been saying is we have always been a community that has gotten a mixture of first party and second party. It was never about when's the next first party game, bro. That was
Yes,
never
it was.
the.
Yes, it was.
No,
But it's
I
not-
think it depends on what community you're talking about, though. Because
Forte,
no,
Forte,
90.
he's wrong because this is why we always bring
I
the
agree.
example of PS4.
No, I agree with you
PS4,
because
you know what was coming and what was coming down the line. You always do.
I agree. I agree with that. I think most people just for the conversation that we're having, I think it's just mostly tied to everybody already knows that 90 to 95% of all games that release, in general are going to be multiplayer. I mean, third party and second party games. It's the 5% that we're talking about right now. We're talking about the studios that PlayStation deployed that they're laying off right now.
And also when you look at the first party, when you look
They've
at
been paying for second party exclusives though.
So Corey, I understand that, right? I'm not disputing that PlayStation hasn't been, pushing a strategy of second and third party games, right? But when it comes to first party, that still is something that's most known from PlayStation. Yes, there are a lot of franchises and games that are synonymous with PlayStation, Final Fantasy being one of them. But at the end of the day, Final Fantasy, as well as Final Fantasy does on PlayStation, and it does benefit them financially, it's only a small piece of a bigger picture. Because at the end of the day, Final Fantasy is not an exclusive. I mean, it's not a first-party title. It's a third-party game that has a timed exclusivity on a PlayStation platform. You understand? It's different than when you're talking about something like a Spider-Man or a God of War, where those are. Because again, the second or third party, the second or third party exclusives will draw in people to buy a console and things like that. But the exclusives is still going to be still a big part of why you buy a PlayStation, right? Because Call of Duty or anything like that is available everywhere.
We are not debating whether or not exclusivity matters.
But the point,
I'm agreeing with you that exclusivity matters.
So then what's your argument then?
The insistence on it being first party only, that has never been the PlayStation.
But first party only in terms of But first party only in terms of, hold on, Corey. First party only in terms of what? Like, explain your argument in greater detail, because I'm not understanding where the argument of first party is coming from.
But you're not understanding because it's being made up. Nobody's arguing that.
Nobody complained about where was first party when we were receiving Resistance as an example.
Because we have received. You know why? I'll tell you why. No. Okay, now I understand.
Resistance, nobody cared about.
I understand. I got you right now. I got you right now. So the PS3 and PS4 generations are prime examples of peak PlayStation when it comes to their release cadence, their announcements, and keeping gamers in the know. During the PS3 generation, we received so many first-party titles. We received 3 Resistance games. We received 2 Infamous.
Which is first party. Which was not first party when it released.
It was still.
It was not. It was second party. It was made by Insomniac, which was not owned by Sony at the time.
But Sony owns the IP, which means it's first party.
Listen, y'all don't even know.
That's
you
what
do not
second
know.
party
You
is.
do not know.
That's what
Second party
is.
Second party is a
Second party is
contracted. It's a contracted game that is releasing exclusively on the platform where you have a signed contract. A first party game is an owned IP.
Stellar Blade is a second party game.
That is first party. I don't know where you guys come up with this nonsense.
Again, I never said that was not first party.
Oh, but
when
you just
when
listed
the
off a game
publisher
and said it's
when
second party, not first party. It's a first party game.
but Resistance was not first party.
Yes, it
Resistance
was.
not,
Yes, it was.
the studio was not owned by
Okay, so
PlayStation.
so then if that's
It
the
is.
case,
Studio
if that's
was
the case,
not owned by Sony.
the
It does
IP
not have
IP
to.
was
It
owned by
does
Sony.
not have to
Corey,
be
all right, we're
owned by
arguing.
PlayStation.
Show me
Okay,
game
hold
where
on,
they
hold on.
own
Okay,
the
hold on,
IP.
hold on,
Is
hold on, hold on,
Helldivers
hold on.
Where
a
they
first
own the
party
IP.
game?
We're
Is
arguing.
Helldivers
We're
a
arguing
first party game?
semantics. We're
No,
arguing
it's a second party
semantics.
game.
Hold on, we're
No,
arguing.
it's
Bloodborne,
not.
then Bloodborne's first party.
Yes.
Bloodborne's
Yes,
first
it
party.
is. Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Okay.
it is.
Okay.
It's a
Then-
first party
then-
game made by a third party developer.
Which is
Bloodborne was
second party.
co-developed by Firm Software and Sony Japan. It wasn't
It's
just
Sony
Firm
Japan,
Software that
yeah.
made the game.
Like,
Bloodborne is first party. The Order 1886 is first party. Ratchet and Clank back in the day is first party. Resistance first party. These are first party games. You know what's a second party game? Stellar Blade. You know why? Because it's a contracted agreement for an exclusive on the platform. That is what second
That
party
PlayStation is
There's
funding.
no ifs.
Okay.
There's no buts about it. That is the fact.
Okay, so Stellar Blade would be considered second party,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because PlayStation is paying for the game, paying for the game to be developed. It's published by PlayStation.
And they don't
And
own the
so-
IP.
And they don't own the IP. Yes.
They don't own the IP, they don't own the studio,
No.
but they have a contract. They don't own the IP or the studio,
Yes.
so they have a
Another
contract
game,
to the
Kingdom
game.
Bridges
So that
Spirits.
makes again, just hear me out. What you're saying then makes Final Fantasy second party.
No, Final Fantasy is third party
No.
because it's published by Square Enix, not PlayStation. PlayStation
It's
is
not-
paying.
Okay, so
Yeah.
PlayStation is
has
paying.
to be the
PlayStation
PlayStation
is-
has to be the publisher.
Yes.
Yes.
So then Death Stranding is not second party
No.
because
Death
PlayStation
Stranding-
is not
Death Stranding-
the publisher
Death
of the
Stranding-
Death
PC
Stranding.
version.
Death Stranding is a first party title because they
Yeah.
own the IP of Death Stranding.
They own the IP, but they don't own the studio that made it, and they
We
did
arguing.
not
Okay,
publish the
okay.
PC
We're
version,
arguing.
so
Okay,
they-
okay. We're arguing. We're going in circles and arguing semantics. Let's
So
move.
literally-
Let's
All
get
right.
let's
I'm not
move.
even arguing you with
That's like
No,
that's
no, no.
like
I'm not.
saying-
No, no,
that's
no.
like
I'm not saying. I'm not saying that you're arguing.
Let me hear what you're saying. That's like saying Minecraft isn't first party because PlayStation publishes it on PlayStation. When it comes to the other platforms, PlayStation tend to not publish. Well, now they do it because they're pushing a first party jump. But before, they
Yeah.
don't publish their first party games on PC. They have other distributors like 505 or people that distribute the games that publish the game on PC because they're not going to invest their money on another platform. Now, when we came into this generation or late last generation, it became a difference. That's why the whole move to PC is different because they are publishing games on PC now.
Yeah, what we're doing now is we're literally not even having a. This is why I asked the question of whether or not we were having a business discussion or a fan discussion.
Okay, so even
We're
okay, so
literally-
even
well,
okay.
Give us your points on both of them. If it's like that, what's the business side and what's the fans?
The business side of all of this is if you have a studio that does not produce and that studio does not create games that people buy, they're likely going to close, which is what happened to London Studio. That's the business element of that.
No one here is
for whatever
no one
reason-
here is disputing that, right? The
Yeah, no one's-
argument,
yeah.
the argument here,
So
the argument here. Hold on. The argument here, especially for London Studio, is they had a game in development. We knew that they were making
They
a
did have
fantasy style RPG that was going to be live service. It was going to be co-op and it was going to be live service. Now I don't know. I guess what Sony saw they weren't feeling or whatever case may be, and they decided that London Studio was going to be on chopping block. We don't really know. What we do know is that PlayStation, when it comes to the business side of things, it seems like what's motivating a lot of these layoffs is them being able to sustain and streamline resources so that they can continue to success and the ability to deliver experiences that we've grown accustomed to now. They're not talking about that from a second or third party perspective. They're talking about that from first party. And the argument for myself and Jay Bari and I'm sure a lot of other people here is for them saying that even from a business side, but still not necessarily showing or producing anything to back those claims is the issue. Because you're saying one thing, and I'm sure that, it's true, but the actions behind what's being saying aren't being reciprocated for the gamer because we still don't know what's going on with first party from PlayStation. When it comes to PlayStation, hold on, Corey. When it comes to PlayStation, the last two generations, PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 generation, they were very, very forward and forthcoming when it comes to first party. This is why you didn't see people having these podcasts or conversations or tweets about what's PlayStation roadmap look like, because we've always had a roadmap. It's only until this generation where those roadmaps now have stopped completely, and it's now become a drip feed and trickle out of piecemeal games here and there to get the masses excited. And yes, these games are selling, and I'm sure the strategy is working to some degree, but for the people that have been with PlayStation for a long time, it's jarring because it's not how PlayStation has moved in the past.
Can I go?
Yeah.
So in 2020, at the start of the PS5 generation, we didn't know that Ratchet and Clank was coming. We didn't know that Returnal was coming. We didn't know that God of War was coming.
Corey, what's coming in 2025?
Again, you just said to me that
Bro, you're about to.
that we've been having this conversation, this entire generation, is because PlayStation has not had a roadmap.
Yes.
So when I asked you, we did not know that these games were coming. You're saying to me, no, we got these games piecemeal.
We did know, though.
That's what you just said to me.
That was at the very start. Hold on. I'm about to answer your question. Yes, we did know when Ratchet and Clank was coming, and we know that Ratchet and Clank and Returnal were coming in 2021, in 2020. Now we're in 2024. Tell me what's coming in 2025.
Do we have a release date yet for Silent Hill? Or we're not allowed to count Silent Hill because it's not first party?
I'm talking first. You just made an argument for first party with Ratchet and Clank, and now I'm asking you to reciprocate that now.
Let me re-ask
the question.
This was my point to begin. This was my point to begin with. When we have talked about PlayStation historically, it has been about exclusives. It was never about what is this game specifically a first-party exclusive. Because when we talked about Resistance, no one said, this is not a first-party studio game. This is not an exclusive for PlayStation. No one said that. That's my point.
Says who?
No one said when we were getting Resistance, when we were getting games from Insomniac, when Sony did not own Insomniac, no one said we need a roadmap of Sony first-party exclusives. We counted Resistance as part of the exclusive games that are coming to your PlayStation. We counted Bloodborne as an exclusive game coming to your PlayStation.
I think you're also
the thing where you're failing to understand. Can I please get my point out so that this way you can stop saying I'm not making any sense?
I already got your point. I'm not saying that you're not making sense. I'm saying that there's layers to the conversation.
So when I say exclusives, I'm talking about Rise of the Ronin comes out for me in almost 25 days or so. After that, I got Stellar Blade. I know that there is a Silent Hill coming. So when we say we don't know that we have games from Sony coming, at this point, I have to wonder where is the conversation going? Because in one second,
I'm trying to figure out if you're paying attention to the conversation.
What is the next new IP?
We going off a tangent. Yo, Corey, I'm gonna be honest.
You're not
making sense, Corey.
There's nuance to the conversation. We understand that there's exclusives. We understand that exclusives are coming to PlayStation. I love them. We all love them. PlayStation have a great first party, not first party, but a first year lineup or first half lineup for 2024 with first party, second party, and third party games. Yes, I love it. It's crazy. I love it. But the fact of the matter is, yes, I love PlayStation. And I love the studios. I want to see what PlayStation studios are releasing. Yes, we have Insomniac that been holding them down for the longest. We had God of War. We had it's amazing. But that's not the total studios that they have there. They have 16 other studios that we know nothing of that is releasing.
15 now.
It's not.
We
It's
know
not
they're
to say.
cooking, right?
It's not to
15
say
now.
that PlayStation would not. I'm not happy with PlayStation. All we're saying is that there's a problem. That is that we're not seeing any games from first-party studios, no announcements where these games came out back in 2018, 2019, 2020, and we still in 2024 know nothing as far as what these specific studios are releasing. And then now when we see these news of cancellations, job losses, it's playing to everything that we've been saying when it comes to first party. That's not to take away that PlayStation's not doing a great job with anything else. Is we're focusing and locked in on first party, and this news put more fire to the flame when it comes to first party as far as why they're being so quiet. Now we're seeing a whole reevaluation of first party studios. We see people is closing down studios and losing their jobs. It's a problem. If you don't see that it's a problem there, I don't know what the hell's wrong with you. Yes, nobody's saying that you can't be happy with the other games that's coming out as exclusive. But if you are a PlayStation fan, that you don't have to be in this category. You don't have to be in this category.
I'm asking
if you are a PlayStation fan that like these first party studio games and you see nothing wrong, there's something wrong with you.
To get away. I liked London Studios to get away. I liked Blood and Truth. I actually have a PSVR and I played Blood and Truth on my PSVR. I liked London Studios. I wanted them to make a Blood and Truth for PSVR2, which I also have. I like that studio. So when you say to me as a fan, am I upset that they're gone? Yeah, that does suck. But as a business, but as a business, if they don't make games that sell, I can understand why they don't have jobs anymore, bro. That is the consequence of making games that do not sell.
But the
unfortunate for these
developers.
As a business, yes, it's very cutthroat. But as a fan, it's very disappointing. I'm not a part of the business. You know what I mean? I'm not working for the business. I'm a fan of the games, and I wanted to see Blood and Truth come to PSVR2. I wanted to see what this new project was. Now we're not going to see it. So what I'm going to say? But you know what, Jay Barry? Forget how you feel as a business.
No, I asked you when I started this whole conversation. Were we having this discussion about the business element of it, or were we having the discussion?
Okay. So here's a question. Here's a question, Corey, because I think you might have painted yourself into a corner. So let's run with your argument. Let's say, okay, we understand London Studio, right? Explain Insomniac, Naughty Dog, and Guerrilla, 3 studios that have successfully released critically acclaimed projects that have sold, met, or exceeded expectations.
Do you know what the employee count for any of those?
Hey, yo, I'm done. I'm done, bro.
I counted that with asking how many employees are at London Studio. Hold on, I've been quiet for a minute. How many employees are at London Studios? Because we keep focusing on that, saying the business aspect of it. It was 900 people laid off across Sony, across PlayStation, period. So we keep focusing on London Studios. 900
and we know not all of them were developers. So
I understand.
You can't sit here and say that they laid off 900 developers.
And then you're also talking about them not producing. So we're talking about people producing, or we're talking about staff.
Who's not producing?
Clearly, in PlayStation's
talk about clerical workers. The majority of the people who've laid off could be anybody.
The point is that these successful studios, Insomniac, Naughty Dog, and Guerrilla, all still experience layoffs despite the success that they have brought to the PlayStation platform.
And the question that I ask is, do we know how many people were working for the studios before and now after?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The point is job. No, I'm gonna tell you why. Because the point is you're splitting hairs. The point is jobs.
Why am I splitting hairs?
I'm about to explain to you. Jobs are lost.
Okay,
jobs were lost. Yeah. Despite the success of these studios, jobs were still lost. That's very worrying when you're looking at the grand scheme of things of how successful these studios have been throughout the course of not just this generation, but last generation. Horizon Zero Dawn was a brand new IP that was able to reach 20+ million people within a PlayStation ecosystem being a brand new IP. That's a huge feat. Insomniac has released one of the most critically acclaimed and probably honestly the best Spider-Man game we've ever seen in existence.
In the history of the world.
Sold
You're
and
talking
sold
to a huge
20 and
Spider-Man
sold
fan.
20
Yes.
and sold 20 plus million copies. Naughty Dog arguably released one of the greatest games in our history of gaming with The Last of Us Part 2. With
Absolutely.
one of the greatest stories.
Absolutely.
Stories.
Agreed.
Let me be clear. Stories ever told in our history of gaming. One of. I didn't say the best. I said
Agreed.
one of the best.
Absolutely agree.
And these studios are still not immune to layoffs. So your
No.
argument of London studio not producing, although I don't agree with that either, or agree with them losing their jobs, I'll put a point on the board for you. Fine, but there's no way you can explain to me Naughty Dog, Insomniac, and Guerrilla, given the success that these studios have been successful. These studios have been. And the games that they have released within the last 5 years.
So again, I go back to how I originally started this conversation. Are we having this discussion from the perspective of fans? Are we having this discussion from the perspective of a business trying to function as a business? Because if we're having the conversation from the perspective of a fan, you're going to get, you know what? They probably should be immune from anybody there getting fired. But if we're having the discussion from the perspective of a business conducting business, there are all. I work in management, bro. In my real life job,
Bro,
I work in management.
What's the difference?
And I have.
I don't
my
understand.
company.
It's not a measuring
Why you can't
contest,
have
bro.
both for the conversation?
Yeah, you can.
I'm giving you the business. But I'm giving you a business answer.
But it's not a measuring contest. I'm a manager as well. What does that matter?
I have been a member of a successful Fortune 500 company, and we have still laid people off. It does not matter.
Corey,
it does not matter that you are successful.
Are you a game?
It does
Okay,
not matter
all
that
right,
you
let's
are
cut through
successful.
this. Let's cut through it. Let's cut through it.
Bringing up the business,
All
you're
right,
trying
let's
to
cut
negate
through. Let's
your
cut
own
through this.
feelings
Let's cut
as far
through
as
this.
what you feel.
Yeah, let's cut through this.
That's
Okay,
what you're doing.
That's what I was getting.
Yeah, you
No,
can
no,
have-
no. There is
nobody
no
not
responding.
understanding a business. Nobody's not here saying that we don't understand a business.
That's why I asked you.
But it doesn't. But Corey, hold on, Barry, hold on. Wait. Hold
asking that
on.
question has
Hold on.
nothing to do with us not still laying out our opinions and thoughts as far as what's
You can
happening.
lay out your
Everybody in
opinions,
here
but
understand the
lay out your
business side of
opinions and
things.
thoughts. You can lay out your opinions and thoughts.
So
but
what's
what you're
the
saying
point
is
of separating the conversation? We already understand the business side.
Because there are definitely divisions between what people feel and what is going to work for a business. And if you don't understand that as a fan and as a consumer of any product, that the business is going to make business decisions that make sense
I think I've never.
If the Phoenix Suns trade Kevin Durant right now, I shouldn't be upset because of the business side. That's what you're saying?
Bruh,
Hey, yo, what is your point? I don't understand your point, brother.
Again,
Corey,
you're making a decision you're making a decision from a perspective of a fan.
All right. Let's bring this down. Let's bring this. Okay, wait. Hold on.
Because you're bringing
Okay, hold on. Let's bring this back. Let's bring this conversation back down. Hold on, Corey. Okay. Corey, hold on. Let's bring this conversation back down. Let's bring this conversation back down to reality. Okay, hold on, because we're going way off the rails here. We not in Kansas anymore. Let's get back there. Let's bring this conversation back down to reality. Corey, I'm going to ask you one question, and I don't want this tangent of, the business side. I'm going to ask you one question. You answer that question, and then we're going to move on from this. My question to you is this, Corey. As a gamer, I don't give a fuck about the business. I don't give a fuck if you own 15 McDonald's across the country. As a gamer, how does this news of not just the layoffs, but successful studios being impacted as a gamer, seeing what's happening within this industry, especially what's happening with PlayStation, because clearly you're a big PlayStation fan, how does this news make you personally feel as a gamer? I don't care about the business, as a gamer.
As a gamer, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really feel much because I don't really have a evaluation of what any of this stuff actually has in terms of PlayStation's productivity.
So as of right now, for you.
I mean,
Hold on. Wait. Hold on. My follow. I got to follow.
Again,
So my question for you. Hold on. This is my follow.
Allow me to give some clarification because
There's nothing to clarify because this is your answer.
I'm
I'm asking a follow-up question. My question is this, Corey. Are you presently, are you happy with the position that PlayStation is in right now within the industry? Are you happy as a gamer?
Yeah, I'm getting all of the games that I want to play.
Okay.
I'm getting Final Fantasy next week. I'm getting this week. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm getting Rise of the Ronin. I already actually have Rise of the Ronin pre-ordered. I already have Stellar Blade pre-ordered. I'm getting what I get. I'm getting what I paid for.
Okay. So for you, these layoffs and seeing studios from PlayStation be shut down, you don't really care. As long as you're still getting great games, you don't care.
That
a question about
as long
that.
as yeah.
Listen, stand on business. Stand on business. So just to reiterate, hold on.
As a fan of London Studio, you asked me a question. Allow me to at least give you an answer.
Okay.
As a fan of London Studio, I would have wanted them to make their Blood and Truth 2 for the PSVR2 because again, I own a PSVR2, so I would wanted to see that game get a second iteration on better hardware.
Persona, can I ask him a question about this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so you said you don't care. Good. So let me ask you this. When you don't get the next Stellar Blade, when you don't get the next Final Fantasy, then what you're going to do? Because that's what we are focusing on. It's not the now, it's what's next for PlayStation.
Okay. So my answer to that is very simple. What are you going to do when you don't get those games now? Because what you're saying is what about based on your feeling. Because right now you're saying I feel that PlayStation is not producing, and therefore, what happens if they don't produce? So my question is the exact same question. I'm bringing back to you. You're saying what? You're saying you're gonna just rant on Twitter about it?
No, no. I answered you. I'm gonna move elsewhere. I'm just gonna go to PC.
Okay.
You asked him the wrong question. This is the question you need to ask him.
But
of all of these the studios that are affected outside of London, do you care about what's happening at any of those studios? Do you care about those games? Do you care about those games? Do you care about the games that they make? And so what do you care? So what do you care about?
I care about games. I
hear you. Everybody cares about games, but do you care? Do you actually care about all the games that they make?
Okay, let me give you the definitive Corey answer so that it will answer all of your questions. The definitive Corey answer is,
and I'm going to wait for you to give it to me.
My PlayStation fandom is contingent upon Sony giving me great games for the hardware that I buy from them.
So you don't care if it's first party or third party, as long as it's a great game.
I've never cared. I don't think anyone in this community has ever cared.
But then your answer doesn't make sense then, because you're not really getting great games from PlayStation. You're getting great games that PlayStation locked down from other publishers.
That's the thing, is we've been getting that shit our entire.
I understand that, but the point that I'm trying to make is, you saying that you're getting great games from PlayStation means that you would be caring about the first party aspect of PlayStation. Not to take away from Square Enix or Capcom or anything like that, because they make incredible games as well.
PlayStation funding a game doesn't actually help that game. It just means that they just locked it down. They just put some money into it. They didn't give a shit about. That's what we're seeing.
We're getting back into the semantics, and I don't want to go down that road. The point that I'm trying to make is,
don't put me in a position to where I have to defend semantics. I'm literally telling you exactly what I've always said. My fandom of the PlayStation has always been contingent on receiving great games from my PlayStation device. My great games that have come from my PlayStation device throughout my entire history of PlayStation, and I've owned every single one of them, have been a multitude of first party, second party, and third party games. It has never been oh, I only focus on the first party, because when we were only focusing on the first party, there was a time when you could only say good things about Gran Turismo and maybe God of,
So
because
you
those were the only real first party games that they had, bro. We can't sit here and pretend that they built this empire on first party alone.
so I'm just gonna ask you, because when I'm at work, I always ask people this question. So are you a gamer that typically falls in the realm of the 90, like the 90 to 95% that I only care about where the 95% of the games come from? Those particular, because the 5% doesn't matter to me as much as the greater total, like when it comes to the third party and the second party exclusives and stuff like that. So you kind of, if you like, I look at it as a general, like, as long as I can play the 95% of the games, the other 5% is, I may play them since I have the system. There's something that I might dabble with, but it's not important.
Forte, let me save you the conversation. It's all this is all BS. It's all BS.
I mean, because what you're
Forte, I'm saving you the energy, bro.
Because what he's saying is it sounds like
good. I'm telling you,
it just sounds casual to me. That's what that just sounds like.
It's all BS. The
sounds
man just came out here and said,
I care about games, and I don't,
and what another blood and truth, what don't care about is stuff about first party. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like okay.
It's
Perfect
all BS,
example
bro.
for me. If this was like Santa Monica, the reason I buy a PlayStation, and everybody knows I'm my preferred platform. I play on the Xbox, but I buy a PlayStation for God of War. Literally, I bought my PlayStation day one, not even knowing the release date for God of War, because they, once again, to your point, they still didn't announce what the release date was. So I still went out and bought a PlayStation because I knew it was going to be hard to find and I could afford it. So I was like, I'm gonna let it sit here until it comes out. I played games along the way, but it would still hurt it would mean something to me if something like that was to happen, especially when you're out here boasting record sales. Okay, so I'm a real. So if you want to talk about all of the business side and all that stuff, because right now it's mostly about the gaming side. I understand the business side, but I also think people kind of got to understand one thing about the business side and the gaming side of it. I know that a lot of these companies hired ridiculous amounts of people over the course of the last 4 to 5 years because of everything that happened in 2020 and 2021. We're still seeing the effects of all of that today. But I also think PlayStation made a bad bet when it came to them making the decision to go full force into making live service games in the way that they did. Because guess what? If you want to try to innovate on something and try to, make something like stick and be like really good for you, you kind of got to be there at the very beginning of it. PlayStation's kind of jumping in towards the latter half, the third quarter of it and stuff. And maybe they're getting to a situation where they're seeing that that's not going to work for us long term. Or maybe we need to scale back what our overall vision on live service games are, and we need to start cutting the fat. If you go back to what Hiroshi said in his...
Maybe because when they looked at the live service model and they saw that people don't generally leave their live service of choice. They tend not to need 12 different live service games. So that would, of course, lead to a business pullback.
What actually happened is
most people don't leave their live service games.
They got fucking humbled. On Naughty Dog.
Exactly.
Fucking Naughty Dog we're talking about. I'm gonna say it one more time. Fucking Naughty Dog. Top tier PlayStation, arguably PlayStation best studio, couldn't even pull off a live service game. That's when they got fucking humbled.
That's a nice steelbook.
Live service games on the market, like Sony game. It's a Sony game. Make it make sense. Make it make sense how we're having this conversation like Sony fucked up with live service and they're literally celebrating the best fucking live service game out on the market right now. One of the best. Make it make sense for this community, bro. Of course I've been kicked out.
Yo, so Corey.
No, you still here? You still here?
No, I didn't kick you out. Nobody kicked you out.
I'm still here.
I don't think we operate like that, kicking people out for having an opinion. That's crazy.
At the end of the day, Corey. Corey, using your logic, as long as you're receiving great games from PlayStation, you don't care if they also go to PC day in day too, right?
I never said that. I never said that. That's what Persona said. I never said
No,
that.
I asked the question
think
and you gave me an answer.
Are you asking me? Are you asking me that question? Do I think that PlayStation should put their games on PC day and date?
Well, the businessman of Corey would say yes, right? Because more money.
No, absolutely no. The businessman of me would not say yes.
Why not? That's
Because
more
what
money.
we've seen, because what we've seen from the industry is exactly this. I will give you a perfect example of it. The three popular streamers, BG, you, and Sick Humor,
I
who
ain't
was
popular.
also in
I
the
ain't
chat.
shit.
You guys all bought a copy of Helldivers 2. BG bought his copy because he owns a PC and a PS5. He bought his copy on PC. Only plays the PC version. At 70% of a $60 purchase, they only got $42 out of BG from buying that game on PC. They could have gotten $60 from him if he had bought it on PS5, right? They could have gotten $60 from him, but they only got 42 from him buying it on PC, and he's never gonna buy that game
But
on
if
console.
but PC
Why?
but
'Cause he already
PC
has the PC version.
but PC
And then there's you. You bought the $60. You bought the $60 PS5 version. They got their full $60 from you. They love you.
but Corey.
They love you. But you know who they really love? You know who they really love? They love Sick Humor. Why do they love Sick Humor? Why do they love Sick Humor? Because
he double
Sick Humor
dipped.
bought the PC version and he bought the console version. So he's worth $102 to Sony.
So using that logic, they make more. They make more. So
$60. So he want. So if
Jack
you
Moo said
want
Jack
to
Moo
get
said that
someone to
BG
double dip,
Jack
so
Moo
if
said
you
that
want to
BG
get
bought it
someone
on
to
both
double-
platforms as well.
Okay, then BG probably would get.
So they make it so
probably
off the
would be more
so
advantageous
two out of the
for
three
Sony.
so
But
two
I'm
out of
talking-
the two out of the three people double dipped on this game, and PlayStation made more money because this game was on PC
on multiple platforms.
So using your logic of business, they actually profited more from the three of us because two people bought the game in two different places. So they should continue this strategy if it means that people are going to buy it in both places, right?
How do you get people to double dip on
I'm done, bro. You not
for the
The same way people just did it.
Hey yo, Corey,
Because
you need to go to
Here's
debate
the
school,
question.
bro.
Again, I'm answering your question. Do we believe that there are? And this was my point actually. Do we believe that there are more Sick Humors and BGs in the community, or are there more people who will be a persona and just buy it on PlayStation?
You know why Helldivers is a bad example. You know why
I'll give you a better.
Hold on, Forte.
I'll
You
give
know
you
why?
a better.
That was my point.
Go ahead.
But you know why Helldivers?
No one let me finish that point. Or do we believe that there are more people who will just buy it on PC, or more people who will just buy it on console, or do we believe that the bulk percentage of the people who have a PC and a PS5 will just double dip?
Corey, you know why Helldivers
exists as double dip?
You know why Helldivers is not a good argument not good for your argument, because Helldivers is successful on both PlayStation and PC, which would bolster the argument of why more games should go.
Answer the question. Do we believe that there are more people who would buy it only on PC? Do we believe that there are more people who would only buy it on console, or do we believe that the bulk percentage of people are BG and Sick Humor?
Okay,
that was the point that I was trying to make. Do we believe that
question.
the bulk percentage of people who are going to double dip so that Sony can get that more money factor that you were saying?
All right, better question. Because I agree that I think that less people would. It's not going to be more people are going to double dip. Less people are going to double dip, of course, if you could do it in both places. But the better question is, do you think like he just said, the game is doing well in both places? Do you think that let me finish asking the question. Do you think a day and date version of Helldivers, where it's selling right now, would do better, especially on a PC platform, if they did, an offset date where they did it later on? Do you think more people on PC would have bought the game, or do you think less people would buy it if they had to wait to play that game on PC?
I think that if they had to
say a year, we'll say a year, offset year.
Okay,
Would-
so we're gonna go with the year timetable between PS5 release and PC release.
And PC
That would
release.
be that would be the wait time. Do
The
I
wait
think
time.
a year later? Do I think a year later that game would sell? Do I think a year later that game would sell as much as it is right now on PC? No, no.
And that's the reason I think if you could kind of say like people aren't going to double dip, not too many people are going to be Sick Humor and BG, but you can also say that there's a lot more people that will buy it day one that doesn't have a PlayStation because they don't buy it day one versus waiting for a year and then saying a year later that I'm good on playing it then.
Forte. But hear me out. Just hear me out. Those people who wanted to play Helldivers that are on PC, right? Because we need to have this conversation with the PlayStation community. Do you think that those people who wanted to play that game on PC would have just bought it on console anyway, and Sony would have gotten their $60 from them?
No.
Do you think those people would have went out and bought a PC? Do you think those people would have went out and buy a PC for it? I mean, buy a PlayStation 4. And we're talking about the majority. That's what we're talking about.
I'm going to answer your question. Because what I've seen from this community is those people already have PlayStation 5s, dog.
But we're not talking. We're not talking about this community. We're not talking about this community. We're talking about in general.
This community is built on news cycles. Everyone wants to be a part of the talk of the town game at day one. Nobody wants to fucking wait, bro. Nobody.
If that's the case, then why is PlayStation? If that's the case, then why are PlayStation doing day and date with their games as service games if nobody wants to wait? Because using that logic, the live service games, they would have just put them on PlayStation and they would have been enticing enough for people to pick up a PlayStation to buy to play those. Correct?
Have you heard this community's discussion of live
I'm
service?
not talking about this community. I'm talking in general.
The greater
in general. Have we heard the greater community's discussion of live service from the PlayStation community?
Let's just take it away from just live service in general. Let's go back to a game. Let's go back to, because a lot of people just gotta just truly think about when it comes to how stuff sells. Like, the game is awesome, but it's not selling just off of because it's a great game. It's selling because people are talking about it. Like, let's think about Elden Ring. Let's talk about Elden Ring last year. Yeah. People went out and bought the game for the hype. And guess what? They didn't have a PlayStation, so they just bought it on PC if they had one. They didn't go out and buy a PC to play Elden Ring. They had a PlayStation. They played it on it. They played it on the Xbox. No, whatever system they had to buy it on, they just played it. Now, when it comes to Helldiver, thank God PlayStation made it, cross-platform play, so you could have the option to do whatever you wanted to do. So there's a lot of people that are on PC that bought that game off of the recommendation of somebody else that was playing it, and they don't have a PlayStation in their house, and they just decided, you know what? One of my friends or my favorite YouTuber, because shout out to the YouTube community, because they are influencers, and that definitely happens a lot. They see somebody playing the game and they're having a super lot of fun with it, and guess what? They just go out and they put their credit card in on Steam and they buy it, and that's what happens.
Okay, now, here is the $1 million question, Forte. Do you think those people would have any sort of value from, this game that is the talk of the town, that's everybody's talking about, it's only on PlayStation? There are other games that are also only on PlayStation. Maybe I'll go out and buy a PlayStation so that this way I have access to it.
And I will answer that question directly because I've seen it. Because you know what? You are right. There is a very small subset of people that will go out and buy that game. There are people that you will probably say there is probably like a 1 to 2% of the player base that plays Helldivers that went out and bought a PlayStation because either they had an Xbox or they had a Switch. They didn't have a PC or a PlayStation. They went out and bought it. There is a very small amount of people that did it. You know why I can say that? Because I saw it happen with Starfield. People that was playing on PlayStation that they couldn't play Starfield literally walked into the store and bought an Xbox Series X just because they wanted to play the game.
Because people who want a game, because people who want a game will buy
But
it
it
wherever
doesn't
they buy it.
happen. But it's not going to happen on the. That's what I'm saying. If you have a platform that is available on, that's why we keep saying like the whole like the whole day and date thing. If a person has the like, your argument is if it's only on PlayStation, then absolutely more people are going to go out and buy a PlayStation. It's going to be it's going to be a good conversion number. But in the realm that we're talking about, a game that is doing as well as it's doing in both places, of course the numbers are going to be lower if they don't do day and date, because it's the hype that's selling the
Yo,
game
y'all
right
see
now.
how crazy my hairline was looking on Saturday, bro? That shit was crazy, boy. Look at that boy.
Oh
Persona
yeah, it was
on
crazy.
Saturday. That boy Persona on Saturday was looking crazy with the hair. My fault, y'all. I'm watching one of my streams for Saturday. Go ahead.
Oh, look at you, bro. But no, but yeah, that's the thing though. So it's not a disagreement on if people won't go over to the PlayStation platform just because it's exclusive to it. I think people will do that in droves. People prove they would do it all the time, but it just ultimately comes down to if you do it day and date. And I hate arguing the day and date thing, because up until this point, nobody really felt like Sony needed to do it. We all talked about it in these podcasts. They don't need to do it, but the fact that they had these earnings calls, the shares that dropped. Yeah, the shares then dropped 10,000. I mean,
we gonna after you finish your point,
Sony.
Forte, we're gonna move on because I'm actually
so
tired.
the fact that all that stuff happens kind of got people kind of side-eyeing them when it comes to this type of stuff. But then you just you compound that with the fact that PlayStation hasn't said really anything when it comes to their first party. So when you like tie all that together, that's where the frustration comes in. It's not that people care about one thing or the other. It's the silence that people don't. It's like at this point it's deafening.
Absolutely. The only thing I wanted to say real quick, because I know you're gonna move on, Persona.
I'm actually gonna end the show after this, man. This motherfucker does brought my energy down.
You.
Go ahead, yeah, go ahead.
So the only thing I'm gonna say is people gotta stop conflating the two things, and they absolutely 100% must be separate, right? A single player $70, or $80, $100 game, depending on if you get the deluxe edition or whatever, single player game that in PlayStation's case is typically piratable 20 minutes after they're live, is a very different proposition than an unpiratable $33 game, because that is the current price you can get Helldivers for on Steam, or not directly on Steam, but like CD keys or something. Those are just two vastly different propositions. So people trying to conflate the success of Helldivers, which is actually a game that pertains really well to the PC player base and is cheap, is not the same. They need to be very careful about conflating that success to thinking that is going to turn around and be that type of success or greater for a single player game that, number one, is piratable and vastly more expensive than something like Helldivers. So that community doesn't particularly thrive on that stuff, and there's clear data out there for that. And like I said, I brought it up earlier with Resident Evil 4 as a very similar type of game, right? You're talking about a game that scored one of the highest ratings last year and all these other things, and released on literally everything, and yet still couldn't outsell any of the last like 3 PlayStation exclusives that were first party. So people got to get this idea out of their head that there's this billion, and I've literally had this quote, billions of PC gamers out there that are waiting with bated breath to purchase PlayStation games. No, what's going to happen is the crossover of people who have these devices, once PlayStation ever commits 100% to day and date, these people are that you have this double-digit millions crossover. You have, make no mistake, it is that high of people who have PCs and PS5s are going to get rid of them, and you're going to simply potentially trade sales from 100% sale on PSN to a 70% sale cut from it selling on Steam, maybe, if they don't pirate it. And that's where they're going to be. And their revenue is ultimately not going to change. And ultimately what's going to happen, the revenue is not going to go up. The revenue is going to lessen. And that's where people need to be careful. That's where PlayStation needs to be careful. And I hope they know that. But
sure
I mean,
do.
we've seen these companies make very stupid decisions, and people always assume, hey, these companies have all these smart people working for them, and they do. But some of these people just don't see it coming. And you better believe people thought the very same thing about Xbox and Microsoft. You know,
we're
they
seeing
just
what's
got
going on with that.
yeah, you know, they just got the number one spot for a while at least, where they were the highest, you know, profitable company or whatever. I forget the actual wording, but company in the world. And it's like that they still managed to make a bunch of blunders and mistakes in their strategy, which caused them to be in last place and their console to be, you know, selling as little as it does now, because ultimately, to a large portion of people, it is irrelevant. And make no mistake, again, as someone who builds PCs and watches the entire market and all this stuff and has done so for over 3 decades, PCs are just climbing. As far they like most of there are tons of places popping up constantly that build custom PCs. Persona and Bari also got PCs, and so did Luca, and so on and so forth. And people who never had PCs before, and
No,
it is happening in
I've
droves.
had PCs before, but I
Well, no, I
decided to
mean,
get a
but you
gaming
like
rig.
upgraded to like some new shit though.
Yeah,
Like, is
I
what I'm
got a
saying.
gamer
Like,
rig just for like.
yeah, you went hard. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm
It was
saying, like,
mostly
that's
for
what
like the
people are doing.
podcast and stuff like that. And I mean that, not really for gaming.
No,
Gaming was a.
but that's what that's
Yeah.
perfect, right?
Yeah.
Because that's also what's big right now.
Mhm.
People also, if you want to be a big streamer, you know what I'm saying, you want at least you want the full setup, you gotta do it from what? A
Mhm.
PC. So as people see that, like my nieces and nephews on the come up, you know, obviously I build PCs and stuff, so they want one because they see the streamers and the YouTubers that they follow, and they know, oh, they play on PC. So even though they love their PS5, you know, because I'm their uncle, so they know what's up. But you know what I'm saying? But they see what PC benefits from because they've been to my house and they played on the 4090 and the big rigs and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of people out there who are now coming into this field, and now they're looking. People are waiting. I'm telling you, people I've never seen that I know people
Yeah.
that only played Switch that are like, yo, I might get a PC because this is how people are waiting. Like I said, I watched a girl, she is a Switch crazy person. And she barely bought a PS5 and is like, because there's just games she couldn't get on the Switch. And she's like, hey, it's looking like I might get a PC because it looks like PlayStation might be going day and day. Like, this is what she's waiting on. Like, people who literally do not typically care about this stuff, that's how big PlayStation is. And I hope they understand their position in this field and understand, like, in order to maintain a healthy market share for them, that going day and date is just suicidal. And I don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that because we want to continue to play their great games. And I hope people understand that's where it will go if they do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yo, word up, man. That's great.
Persona definitely want to move on from this subject. He looked like he's sleepy as heck in this
Yeah,
video.
I'm
watching.
definitely.
He's like, man, I want to move on from this.
I'm definitely tired.
Nah, no doubt.
I know, Carl, but I'll let you get your thoughts out. And Forte, you pretty much put your thoughts out there.
Oh yeah, I'm good, bro. Yeah, I'm good.
Carl, go ahead, man. You know, close this out, man.
Yeah.
Give us your thoughts on all this, bro.
It's fucked up. Most of us have been calling it for now. To me, it's like PlayStation is have set themselves in a rock and a hard place. What I mean by that is, how do you go from now? Like, put the going to PC day and date, whether that happen or doesn't. Clearly, the industry, and this is an industry issue. There is an industry problem with AAA games costing way too much. But with PlayStation, if you create AA games, they don't sell well. We've seen it with Gravity Rush. We've seen it with Ico and Shadow of the Colossus. All games that are amazing and just practically didn't sell well. Heck, even Rogue Galaxy. And that didn't sell well, and that was a great game. So, what do you do then? Do you follow the Nintendo route? Do you create a less powerful hardware and focus on something more than visual? Because visuals are all good and everything, but if you're losing money, not per se losing money, but like you're not making enough money, something gotta give.
Yeah.
And that's what is gonna happen. But with PlayStation, they can't do that because their fan base not gonna buy it. That's a reality. Yet you have your outliers like Kana and stuff like that. But look at Returnal. Amazing game. Amazing fucking game. It didn't sell shit. And here
What?
we are now.
Nah, Kano, they were happy with Kana sales.
No, he was saying
No, I
outlier.
said
Outlier. Oh, okay.
Kana
Sorry.
said
Okay.
doing well was an outliner.
Oh,
But
okay.
Returnal didn't do a thing well.
Well, they were happy. They said they were happy with Returnal numbers, man. PlayStation
They did say
themselves
that.
said that.
600,000.
And when you look at the history of Housemarque, typically their games only sell 200K, 150, 200K anyway. 500 to a million, I take it. you take the wins when you can do it.
But heck, even Concrete Genie, amazing game. I had fun with it. I wanted something new and fresh from Pixel Opus, and what do we get? Rumored to be working on a fucking live service game, and look where they are right now. And
now
that's a sad reality.
Pixelopolis is shut down.
The second they started this whole live service game, they shot themselves in the foot so much that it make me question how the fuck a company or a publisher like PlayStation is capable of doing something like that. They made their top tier developer look like a fucking joke. Naughty Dog. And to me, when it fucking finally dawned on me just how atrocious Naughty Dog have became is when they literally were having help from Ben Studio and other studio to help them with the live service game. I'm like, you wasted so much time, money, and energy from developer, from your company, from your studio, but also somebody else studio, and the result is okay. So we gave up. We're gonna move now on with single players. I'm like, and clearly developers been unhappy. We've been hearing constantly that PlayStation developers have been unhappy with the switch from single player to multiplayer and live service. So it makes me question I'm not a developer, I'm just a gamer. If I can see that them trying to do something that they have never done before is not a smart thing, why the fuck couldn't PlayStation do that? And a matter of fact, why doesn't the gaming industry learn from its own fuck up? We've seen Anthem, we've seen so many games that just died. And what happened? Companies keep making the same fucking mistake and they don't learn from it. And now Suicide Squad is gonna be dead in the water. And that other game.
It's all about money, Karaba. That's what it's about.
Yes,
But you're literally killing your company, though.
I know they're dying slowly, chasing just the same way that the mobile market was. The mobile market is littered with the grounds. The ground is littered with the bones of those that have tried for it and failed. Like, imagine most people could probably name 5 games that are hot on mobile that you heard of. Everybody's firstly is probably gonna say Candy Crush, Genshin Impact, and like 3 other games if you lucky, because that's who's successful. Like largely enough to matter, but that's essentially what they're chasing in the live service market right now. And ultimately, that market is actually pretty finite in the same vein, because eventually you're either pulling people away from one to monopolize their time in another. And like I told y'all seen what happened with Destiny, and I knew the writing was on the wall personally when I quit, because I used to play like Forte and
man, tell me about it.
Yeah, and I quit, and then like you said, like what happened, Persona and all you guys seen. I saw when Persona reported on it when they dropped that 45%. That was about 7 to 8 months after I quit. And then I noticed Luca wasn't playing anymore, and Forte wasn't really playing as much anymore, and they were just gone from it. And I was like, it's like that. Yeah.
I used to listen to Persona every single time. Like, guys, I'm gonna hop up on the Destiny race soon if you, and you can clearly see he was passionate about it. And when you lose someone like Persona, it's over. Like you lose one of your hardcore fan base.
Yeah, I literally stopped playing. 7 months, 8 or 9 months ago, I stopped playing. It was like, can't keep doing this no more, bro. But that's why I kept saying about the whole live service thing. It's like we're at a point where they're losing people at this point. People want to get back to traditional gaming and stuff. It's like, once you peel yourself away from that apple and you start realizing all the stuff that you've been missing because you've been constantly focusing on that, it opens your eyes up. It's like, and then because the biggest thing is just getting away from them. Like once you get away from a live service game, you don't want to do it no more.
That's what happened with the EA. That's literally what happened with the EA. All of a sudden, EA is making single-player games. The same EA that said single-player games don't sell or something to such degree. And now look at them. They're literally making a fucking Star Wars game or publishing it. Doesn't matter. And they made so many other single-player games. And they did well. Like, if a company as fuck up as is such as EA can turn around and focus on what actually matters, single player games, why our companies don't see that? Again, video game industry don't know how to learn from their own fucking mistakes, and it keeps happening.
Omar, we're gonna cut it there, bro.
Okay.
I'm tired. I'm sorry, bro. I'm really exhausted.
You're tired, eh?
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
Let me get these outros, man. Shout out to Bari coming through. Carba, we can start with you. Yo, Carba, we start with you, bro. Give us your outro, man. Let the people know about Game Slayer and everything you got coming to your channel, bro.
Yo,
Dude, shout out to you. Had a blast playing with you with Helldiver 2.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
We got both the platinum. Amazing game.
Yes, sir. I got to play with Morgan and Nate now, man.
Carba_job on Twitter and Author Slayer podcast. We started a new channel called Game Slayer. Some stuff happened with it.
Okay.
But yeah, no. Nate is one of my co-hosts on there. Shout out to him. Also, one of my other co-hosts is Morgan Keeman. So shout out to her as well. And shout out to you and Buddy.
Yes,
Also
sir.
shout out to that giveaway.
Yeah.
And Nate is a happy person now.
That boy Nate lucky, boy. That man lucky.
He
I hope you
lucky
played the
'cause
lotto after that, Nate.
I said it.
Bro,
at least-
I actually did play the lotto after that.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah, I said at least now the game is going to someone that's actually gonna put in work. With it.
Absolutely. Hey, don't worry, Morgan ain't let me live that down after that.
Yes,
We
sir.
gave you an extra 2 for a little tax. You know what I mean? So,
Absolutely.
But yo, Nate, give us your outro, bro. Let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, man. Like my boy Omar said, on the Outer Players podcast, on Saturdays, 5 p.m. Eastern time. We're gonna be getting it in, talking about this and that and the third. Most importantly, you can find us gaming. But
Exactly.
unlike some people out here. But on Twitter at the real Nate. You know what I'm saying, man? Just keep it gaming, and hopefully looking forward to a future in gaming that is very healthy, after all this crazy restructuring, and we get back to the old PlayStation moving the way we really like, and getting to see them put out them Super Bowl level showcases that we love so much, and get re-excited, and Ghost of Tsushima 2 and all that good stuff, man.
Sir.
It was fun.
Sir.
I appreciate it.
For sure, man. For sure. I appreciate you coming through too, man. Yo, Uppercase J.
What's up?
He playing Bluey.
Give us your
Yeah, I've been checked out for a minute. I'm playing Bluey.
Nah, it's good, man. Give us your outro, bro.
Hell going on, man. God damn.
Yo, this the crazy. This why I don't open my chat no more all that much. You see the bullshit going on? But yo, give us your outro, Uppercase.
Man, that's everything everybody talk about, man. The games is coming. Is just like everything else in the world. There's a swell, and then there's a contraction, and then there's another swell.
Yeah.
So whatever this period, God, girl, whatever's going on now, it'll be cool as long as people don't be some slaves and just vote with your wallets, play what you want to play, buy what you want to buy. Everybody getting bent out of shape, hollering and screaming and being financial experts and all that stuff. It's crazy because Helldivers is just $40 on PlayStation. I kept hearing 60, but anyway, I'm out. I ain't got nothing to say. I'm checked out. This shit was I'm checked out. My bad.
Nah, you good, man. I appreciate you, uppercase coming through. Yo, Forte, man.
60 for the
Yo.
Yo, Forte, man, get the people your outro, bro. Let the people know where you can find you. DPS, your own channel,
Yes,
doing
sir.
big things, man. Talk
Yes,
to us.
sir. Yeah, appreciate it. First of all, man, just jumped in. I was actually editing a video when I was listening to you, and I was like, oh, open mic, let's jump in. I ain't doing nothing else. So really appreciate the chance to come through and just speak on it. But like you said, DPS podcast is every Thursday night, 9 p.m. with the homie Slow-Mo Backslap. It's on the DPS channel, Damage Per Second podcast. Go subscribe over to that channel, and that's where we do all that stuff at. And then for myself, Gaming Forte on YouTube and Twitter. Come check me out over there. Make gaming content basically on all platforms with a preference towards Xbox, but we talk about everything for the most part. So really appreciate anybody that comes through and checks it out. And other than that, just enjoy the games you're playing and don't be afraid to have an opinion.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And yo, Barry, man, last but not least, man, get the people your outro, brother.
Yeah, great show. End of the day, I'm a very animated dude, so me and Corey, we have back and forth like that all the time. Hopefully, you don't take it personal. But I
Corey,
just
a New
gotta call him
Yorker,
out.
man. He
Yeah,
got thick skin.
Just got to call him out some of the BS that I be hearing, man. Don't be matching up. But at the end of the day, I think Corey cool people. But yo, man, there's something up in PlayStation. I'm loving PlayStation. Every bit of it. First party, second party, third party, whatever it is. I'm playing a lot of games. But yes, the games that I do love from PlayStation, I still want to hear what they're doing. There's no way I can never I can play The Last of Us Part 2 and then I'd be like, oh, I don't care what they're going to do in the future. I want to get more of that. I want more. I want to see what else is doing. You know what I mean? Other than remasters and PC announcements. But yeah, man, at the end of the day, great show, Persona. I put DPS podcast link in the chat. So if you guys want to subscribe, definitely go and subscribe. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Big shout out to Corey as well, man. Like, listen, me and Corey's, he a good dude, man. As much as we may disagree, he already know, man. There's no disrespect or anything like that, man. And no matter how passionate the conversation may get, right? And shout out to everybody in the chat, man. This was a very different show today than what I even intended to do. I ain't gonna lie to you guys, but at the end of the day, it was a really good show. Shout out to everybody that came through, man. Innate, Forte, Bari, Omar, Uppercase, Corey, everybody else, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Everybody that listened in the chat, big shout out to y'all as well. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. You can follow me on Twitter at Persona Speaks. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. Your boy gonna go dark for at least a week and a half, 2 weeks. Rebirth is Thursday. My focus is Rebirth. I was gonna try to get this Helldivers review out. I don't think I'm gonna make it. we gonna try,
hey, man.
but I don't know if I'm gonna make it.
Big on that.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man. I appreciate y'all so much, man. Shout out to the new subscribers. Oh, yo, people was super chatting too, man. Let me get these super chats and stuff real quick too, man. I don't want to disrespect the people that support
y'all
my
make
channel.
sure y'all tell Morgan Kimes in the chat stop giving me shit about winning my game.
Hey,
she's supposed to be my best friend. She over here mean to me.
Uh-oh. Yo, Morgan. I mean, I'm saying, yo, Viper. Yo, Viper. Yo, Viper. Appreciate you for the super chat, man. He says, I need a list of all games canceled and all games on the way. That is the only way that we can save face from this crap. Yo, facts. Talk to him, Viper. Shout out to Cobb Sanity. Appreciate you for the super chat. He said it all adds up. In my opinion, this is why Jim Ryan is leaving. PlayStation is canceling a lot of Jim's live service games he wanted. Nah, I really think Jim Ryan is just legit retiring, like straight up. I just think he's retiring, man. Like I do believe that really is what that is. Like no bullshit.
Yeah, I agree.
And a shout out to Cyber Dragon. Appreciate you. 34 months as a member on the channel. He says, "What up, chat mods and the 1% Persona Speaks podcast." Appreciate you, Cyber man. Appreciate you, bro. And a shout out to Caleb Kaiser. 34 months as a member on the channel. He says, "What's good, Persona in chat? What's good, Caleb? Appreciate you." And then last but not least, shout out to Forget Me Not. Appreciate you for the super chat. He says, "PS doesn't even do first party. Make no sense." Oh, second day and date first party make no sense. Hey, yo, I don't want to go back down that path, man. Y'all got it, bro. Y'all got it. Hey, yo, listen, everybody have a great evening. Please be safe. It's been your boy Persona, and I'm out, guys. Peace.